To the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners Board Meeting for November 21st, 2023. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Barnett.
Here.
Commissioner Baxter.
Here.
Commissioner Bernard.
Here.
Commissioner Marino.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sachs.
Vice Mayor Sachs. Here.
Mayor Weiss.
Here.
Commissioner Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we are going to have our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Bernard. Although that all who are able to, please rise.
May we approach today's business as task of faith to do our best within our power to provide positive leadership on behalf of our community and those who live and work here, that our decisions meet the standards of divine compassion for all. Amen.
Amen. All right. I want to take a point of personal privilege before we get started with our reorganizational meeting. First off, I'd like to recognize our clerk, Joe Abruzzo, who's joined us this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I truly appreciate a brief moment in time. I just wanted to report to the commission. Several months ago when we had a discussion and I announced that we would be bringing you $160 million of extra revenue, our fiscal year ended September 30th. And I'm proud to report to you all we exceeded those expectations and will be $172 million in investment income, and I wanted to let you know that. Secondly, as you all are aware, a lot has been going on in our office with Israeli bonds, and every time that I have spoken about it, I just wanted to let you all know I've been thanking the board, you all, immensely for the ability to buy the Israeli bonds, and specifically Mayor Weiss, who helps lead our investment policy committee. Prior to many of your elections back in 2001, I came in front of the board and asked to raise the threshold so we can buy the Israeli bonds. So Commissioner Sachs, Bernard, Marino, and Weiss at the time strongly supported that. And I just wanted to let you know that I have not every single time I speak about it, I bring up the board in the entirety, as well as you, Mayor Weiss, letting them know it could not be done without you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm sure our county administrator is going to be very pleased with your report on our finances. So, all right. Well, before we move on, let me wish everybody a very happy good morning and look forward to the upcoming holidays. I have to tell you, my time as mayor has flown by faster than a snowbird returning to the north for the summer. It seems like just yesterday I was here giving my remarks as the incoming mayor, but here we are a year later. I want to first start by thanking my board members for their dedication and hard work this past year. Clearly, we have not always agreed on everything, but we've always shared a common purpose, and that purpose was doing what's best for the people of Palm Beach County. Your passion for public service has been absolutely inspiring, so thank you very much. To county staff, where they are, there they are. You all are the unsung heroes that keep this place running each and every day. From our first responders to our road crews to our office staff, you make Palm Beach County work. I want to thank you for your professionalism and commitment to serving our residents, and we literally could not do it without you. And to the people of Palm Beach County, serving as your mayor has been an honor of my lifetime. You make this place the best place to live, to work, and to play. Your spirit, resilience, and care for our community are what makes Palm Beach County so special. So, as I reflect on the past year, I'm proud from what we've accomplished together, from expanding transit options to improving our parks to investing in infrastructure and affordable housing. But more than any single policy achievement, I'm most proud of the way we've all worked together. With cooperation, compassion, and a commitment to the greater good, there's no limit on what we can achieve. The future is bright for Palm Beach County, and as I pass the gavel, I am confident we are leaving this special place even better than we found it. So thank you for the opportunity to serve as your mayor. It has been a privilege. God bless you. God bless Palm Beach County. Thank you. Now, as is tradition, we have a few tokens of my esteemed appreciation for you all. So let me first start. I have some packages to hand out. All right. You can go ahead and open your boxes. As you've often heard me say, every house deserves a cat. Inside you'll find your kitten, and you'll find a voucher from Animal Care and Control entitling you to one free cat or kitten. You might be able to exchange it for a dog. We'll have to talk to them. I'm sure they can, yes. And but it's why we have the term house cat, because every house needs a cat. So next, we have next set of bags to give out.
You were worried, weren't you? Oh my gosh, that was very clever. Thank you. Is this cat food?
No.
Oh, wow. Isn't it nice? Did we all get a picture?
You all get a
Isn't
picture.
that nice? Look at that.
So you got a board.
Nice.
You received a board picture
Very
on
nice.
canvas, suitable for framing. You received one of my favorite books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I try to live by those habits. And just in case one kitten wasn't enough, you have another kitten in your bag. Because they should always have friends. All right. So, all right. So thank you. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure to serve as your mayor this past year. And I will now turn the meeting over to our clerk to hold our election for mayor. Oh, I'm sorry. I see your light is lit. My bad. County Administrator, you are recognized.
Mayor, on behalf of staff, we'd like to present you with some tokens. We know being mayor is not an easy task, but you've led us through a number of significant projects, and we do thank you for your leadership. So I'd like to share this with you.
Because I fine. Nope, I'm good.
Oh, how beautiful.
Does it say? Todd, what does it say?
In Hebrew.
My Hebrew's not that good.
May all your days.
And these are just the token of collage events that you took through. So we thank you for that.
Oh, very nice.
One more thing.
Nominations are closed. Congratulations, Mayor Weiss.
It's important to understand the dangers that we have from hurricanes. And most dangerous is the water, whether it's storm surge or flooding. Just want to thank you all for what you're doing to inform our community and educate our community as to mental health services that we have in Palm Beach County, but more importantly, to destigmatize mental health awareness. Anti-Semitism and hate speech has unfortunately come to Palm Beach County, but it is something we will not tolerate here because what we know about these people that bring this type of hatred is when they inflict it on one group, they're more than willing to inflict it on every other group. So we stand together. While visiting the museum, I was inspired, but also the truth of what's happened in this country in the past was really brought home to fruition. It's something that has touched my soul and something I will never forget. We were able to get our staffs to work together and they're coming up with a plan to address the deficiencies at this intersection and make the needed improvements. I was told that this is for the sheriff, so we got to be punctual, that you guys, that's how you run your organization. So otherwise, as county commissioners, you know, we're notoriously late, so. All right, you can see what's happening out here. I mean, the water has gotten much clearer, looks much cleaner. I mean, seeing the bottom you haven't seen in years. So just to encourage everybody if you're considering it, this is a great time to adopt an animal and help us with our shelter. We are fostering, at this point, we have 10 kittens in our house. So it's a lot of fun to be in Casa Weiss, and there are kittens everywhere. I want to thank you for taking your time, for making a difference, and improving the quality of lives of the people who live here in Palm Beach County, whether they're housed or not. They are our brothers and sisters, they're our mothers and fathers, they are our family members, and they deserve our love and support, and they deserve a quality, safe place to live that nobody lives on the street in Palm Beach County. So thank you and have a wonderful program. All right, well, now I think we're done with the, thank you so much. I want to thank staff for putting that video together. That was wonderful, wonderful reminder. All right, Clerk Abruzzo, you are recognized. Let's move this along.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, members of the boards of the County Commission. I'm Joseph Abruzzo, your Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller for Palm Beach County. As clerk, one of my official duties includes presiding over the County Commission's meeting prior to the election of our new county mayor. Once the person is selected, the new mayor will preside over the rest of the meeting this morning. But before we let you off the hook so quick, Mayor Weiss, would anybody like to take a point of personal privilege for Mayor Weiss? Commissioner Marino.
Thank you, Clerk Abruzzo. Mayor, it's been my honor and privilege to sit next to you and do the cards and make sure you handled our meetings as well as you did, and all the patience you've had with some of our challenges this year. And I think you enjoyed your term here. You're not going far, though. You're going to just one of these chairs. So look forward to working with you and our new mayor in the future. Thank you.
I guess Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure having you as my first mayor on this board. And I've seen you everywhere. And I know maybe now you're looking forward to just being a normie commissioner like the rest of us. But thank you so much. You ran fantastic meetings. We had some pretty contentious ones. And I just appreciate all the work that you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bernard?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just, we've worked for the past 5 years now, and so you did an excellent job as mayor, and so look forward to seeing you as a regular guy like me.
I'm looking forward to it, too. Commissioner Baxter, you recognize.
I just wanted to say, again, kind of repeating what Commissioner Woodward said, it's been great having you as our first mayor. I think you set a great example in a lot of different ways, and I just appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Vice Mayor.
You know, you have always been like the calm in the midst of storms, which I think has really served us well in this last year. As mayor, you have been sort of the fulcrum of everything that we do, making sure that you're neutral in everything. And I know that when you are able to be a participant, watch out, Palm Beach County, because you have a voice, and that voice will be heard. But during the period of time that you were mayor, you really served us well, because you were, I mean, look at these kittens. What kind of a man does this? This is a wonderful person. This is a really warm, compassionate person in your heart. But don't piss you off, because just like a cat, cats are so cute, but you piss them off, the claws come out. I've seen that, and we have all really grown a lot from your leadership.
Thank you.
I know that you will always be a leader here in Palm Beach County. I look forward to a continued service that you will have for us. But anybody knows, don't piss off a cat, because she'll come at you, and we really appreciate all you've done for us. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'm the baby on the county commission, and I had a lot to learn, and I'm grateful to be able to serve as commissioner under your leadership. We know each other going back before I became a commissioner. I remember our first interaction together, which was a very pleasant one on the campaign trail. And whatever happens today, I very much look forward to working with you for the following year, and hopefully for more years to come. Thank you very much for being that model of leadership for me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for the kittens, too.
You're very welcome. All right. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now, the election. Are there any nominations for mayor?
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
I would like to nominate Vice Mayor Sachs. Welcome.
Commissioner Baxter.
I was doing the same.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? The nominations are now closed. Congratulations, Mayor Sachs. Madam Mayor, I now turn the meeting over to you.
You take the roll. You want to steal from this?
Thank you so much for those who nominated me and for those who voted. I want to thank my sincerely my county commissioners, my colleagues, for this great honor. It is an awesome responsibility and one I take extremely, extremely seriously. I love this county, and I will strive and commit to you that I will do my very, very best to lead it in the way that it has been led before by our mayors and by many others who preceded me. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for God who brought me here. I'd still be that little curly-haired girl in Detroit someplace. And I thank God for this opportunity, and I thank my husband, Peter, for supporting me, and my kids, Tasha, and Kieran, and Marcello, Taylor, just got married, Amanda, and 2 grandsons, Leonardo and Luca. So if you don't think I have responsibility, just imagine having those 2 little grandsons look at you, and you know that we will lead. It's part of my whole responsibility to help lead this county forward. You know, Palm Beach County is on the verge of something really big. I feel it, I see it, I can see development all around me, I see redevelopment around me, I see more and more people coming in, residents who will become Floridians. It's up to us to make these people who come to find paradise here part of our beautiful Palm Beach County. And for that, we need unity. Unity means that even though we may discuss things in a heated way, we may debate issues, we are still one board. We are one community. And that unity is going to get us through this year in a way that will show our strength as never before. Sure, there's the north, the south, the east, and the west. We all have our issues. But the one goal that we all have in mind is the benefit of the people of Palm Beach County. And for that, I look forward to leading forward in a way that will show our strength as a county commission. We are 7 commissioners who have various accents, various areas of different opinions, but we speak with one voice, and that one voice is for the people of this county. And I will do my very best to lead in a way that doesn't reflect any differences in geography or partisanship, but reflects our unity as a people united, as one of the greatest counties of the 67 counties. I love this county. I love the people of this county, and I will do everything in my power to make it the best county for us to live, to work, to play, and raise our families. I thank you for your responsibility you've given me, and I will do everything in my power to make you proud to be your mayor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we're ready to move along here. At this point, we are going to take nominations for vice mayor of Palm Beach County. And I'm going to open those nominations. Yes, I have Commissioner Woodward.
I nominate Commissioner Marino.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, looks like everybody is unanimous in appointing and electing Commissioner Maria Marina as our next vice mayor. Congratulations.
I don't know when the last time there was a Maria up here, and now we have 2.
2.
So Maria Sachs, mayor, Maria Marino, vice mayor. I look forward to serving all of you. And let's just move on with the rest of our meeting.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
At this point, we're going to adjourn as the Board of County Commissioners. And I think at this point, we do a little, and then we're going to adjourn. We're going to open up the meeting of the Solid Waste Authority. So The time certain has passed, so we're ready to go. I'm going to open this meeting as chair of the Solid Waste Authority. And I think that at this point, we're going to appoint a Mr. Pelowitz. You're recognized.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Sandra Vassalotti, the Clerk of the Authority, will conduct the meeting through the selection of Chair, and then the Chair will take over for nominations and selection of Vice Chair and Secretary.
Very good, thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and governing board members. At this time, I'll take nominations for the Solid Waste Authority Board Chair. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
She can't hear. You got
I'm
it.
sorry.
Can't hear you. You're going to have to speak up on that microphone.
Sorry, we'll do the roll call first. Commissioner Barnett,
Here.
Commissioner Baxter,
Here.
Commissioner Bernard,
Here.
Commissioner Marino,
Here?
Mayor Sachs,
Here?
Commissioner Weiss,
Here?
Commissioner Woodward.
Here.
We have a quorum. All right.
Okay, now Ms. Vassalotti will take nominations for Chair.
Nomination.
Do we have a nomination?
I nominate Vice Mayor Marino as chair.
Commissioner Weiss has nominated Vice Mayor Marino for chair. Are there any other nominations? Are there any further nominations? Nominations are closed. And now if we could by vote, all in favor, all opposed, we have to have a majority vote. All right, thank you. 7-0. Motion, Vice Mayor Marino has been selected to serve as our chair. And now we'll move on to the selection of vice chair.
Thank you. And Commissioner Marino, the meeting is yours.
Okay, may I have nominations for vice chair, please? Mac? Commissioner, sorry, you know me, I'm very informal.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I nominate Sarah Baxter as the Vice Chair of the Solid Waste Authority.
Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Since there's no other nomination, Commissioner Baxter, welcome as vice chair. And now we need a secretary. So I have nominations for a secretary, please. Commissioner Bernard, I'll get it right.
Madam Vice Mayor, I nominate Commissioner Marcy Woodward as the Secretary for the Solid Waste Authority.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Seeing no other nominations, congratulations, Commissioner Woodward. And since we did our duties, we are now adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. At this point, we're going to take a break, and we're going to reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners once again. We will take a break we will reconvene here at 10:10. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody, and we are ready to go. We are going to open this meeting for the Board of County Commissioners, and at this time, we're going to have a roll call.
Commissioner Barnett.
Here.
Commissioner Baxter.
Here.
Commissioner Bernard. Here. Vice Mayor Marino. Here. Mayor Sachs.
Here.
Commissioner Weiss.
Here.
Commissioner Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a quorum. We're going to move forward with the additions, deletions, and substitutions. Ms. Baker.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, on page 32, 3H9 has a revised summary for clarifications. Page 34, 3H11 has been deleted, and we will reschedule as soon as it's complete. Page 35, 3J1 is renumbered to 5D2, regular agenda item. And then on page 59, 5C1 has been renumbered to 4C1, which is a public hearing required by HUD. That completes the modifications to the agenda.
Good, thank you, Ms. Baker. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as is? First is from Vice Mayor Marino. Sounds so good. Yeah, Vice Mayor Marino. And a second by Commissioner Weiss. All those in favor, anybody opposed? See that that motion is passed, 7-0. All right, let's get on to the consent agenda. Is there anybody who wishes to pull anything? Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, on page 21, 3E9 and B.
Do you wish to pull that item from the consent agenda? Okay. So, if we could have a motion to adopt without that item, and then we'll discuss that item after this motion. So if I could have a motion, thank you very much, Commissioner Weiss, and a second by Vice Mayor Marino. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? See that it passes 7-0. Okay, so let's look on to Commissioner Woodward's item that you wanted to have pulled. You're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is for, well, actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have pulled A. Well, both. A is for feeding of 30 seniors in the city of Green Acres, and B is for, I'm not going to pronounce it right, Lubavitch of West Palm Beach, 30 seniors. My question is with the, it's a very large discrepancy in price between the two. And when I asked about this, it's for the senior meals for the West Palm Beach. It's for being kosher. And we only had one bid that came in for this, and we're having to get this out of Miami. And, you know, in Palm Beach County, it's a very large Jewish community here in this county, and over 4 times the price, and we're having to get it out of Miami. So I wanted to see if there's a chance that maybe we could rebid this or see if we could find a more local vendor that could do this at a much better price. We're paying $5.19 per meal for the city of Green Acres and $22 a meal for the kosher from Miami. So,
Okay, that questions could probably be directed to you, Chief. Mr. Jordan, go ahead. You're going to have to speak up so we can, yes, go
the
right
addition of
ahead.
the location, of the vendor. The vendor is more local than I originally presented. However, they were the lone bidder. Community Services did reach out to other local vendors. I think it was close to 7, 8 vendors that they reached out to. No one would bid on this proposal, a large part because I believe to the numbers. It was only 1 meal a day, and that was a challenging for some of them to commit the resources to that home warm meal on a daily basis. So the cost, you're correct, is a higher number than the other meals, but the kosher meals are costing more.
Do you have any other questions?
just,
Mr. Woodward?
I do, thank you.
Sure.
So for this, do we have to do this in this way, or can this not go to like a catering firm or some other way for us to get these meals closer? I would like some discussion on this, if anyone has any ideas. I mean, it's more than 4 times the price, and for a small amount of meals.
Right, Commissioner Weiss?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me see if maybe I can help explain this. So in order to have kosher meals, they have to be prepared in a kosher kitchen. There's requirements on not only the food, but how it's prepared, what utensils are used, and things like that. So there is a limited number of facilities that could potentially do it. I share your concern about the cost, but I don't know, if it's gone out to bid. I mean, unless there's another mechanism to get the food, I'm not sure what else we can do. But there's a limited number of facilities that can prepare this kind of food or prepare it in the way it needs to be prepared,
So it is our intent to look at the agreement, and when the opportunity presents itself, again, to put this item out to bid again, to see if we can get a better price associated with the delivery of these meals. But we're certainly concerned about having the loss in services to those individuals that are depending on these meals, and we share your concern, and we address the same issue. And again, Community Service did reach out to additional kosher meal preparers, and no one took opportunity to bid on this proposal. But we'll certainly go back and look at it, talk to some of those vendors, and get a better understanding of what we can do to make the bid of a broader spectrum, to bring others into the process, and see if we can get a better price.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Would you like to?
Make the motion.
Okay, go right ahead and make a motion,
Yeah,
Commissioner.
I do have concerns about the price, but I'd like to go ahead and make the motion to approve 3, 9, A, and B.
Right, good. Do I have a second?
Second.
Very good, by Commissioner Barnett. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? See that it passes 7-0. Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Dinner. Moving right on. If there's nothing else on the consent agenda that has already been passed, we're going to move to the regular agenda and to public hearings at this time. So, if I could have a motion to receive and file for the public hearings.
So moved.
That is by Commissioner Weiss, and a second by Commissioner Baxter. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? See that it passes 7-0. And now we're going to go right on to, do we need a presentation from the Office of Equal Business Opportunity? And we have cards. So let's move on to the cards. Go right ahead, Commissioner Weiss.
I will. As I call your names, you please step up to one of the two lecterns. So that will be Akini and Viraj Nikra. I am going to Nikraman Ayaki to the other lectern, followed by Lisa King and Frank Hayden. Akini, you're recognized.
Here. I'll step down.
No, just speak from there.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here to show full support to the OEBO office. They have been very instrumental in putting in front of us more than capable small businesses, particularly minority businesses that we have, company like ours would have never looked into. And it feels good to give back to the community that we are serving and doing business in.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Viraj?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission members. Thank you for letting me speak this morning. My name is Viraj Vikramanayaka, and I'm the President of Global Trading. I firmly believe that the Equal Opportunity Business Program has benefited smaller businesses such as ours in Palm Beach County. And I kindly urge you to consider extending this valuable program. These programs help local businesses compete with larger out-of-state businesses and generate employment locally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Just 1 minute.
Lisa King, followed by Frank Hayden, followed by David Melendez, followed by Karen Bowman.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Lisa King with Vertex Construction, and I'm here to ask that you support the ordinance that's in front of you to extend the SBE by a couple years. One of the reasons why is we're working with Cooper Construction, and we have been for 2 years on the mosquito control project. And having them involved and then having to remove them becomes very difficult. We need to go interview other SBEs. There's a great knowledge base that's already there. We're going to begin construction in the springtime, so there's a great deal of benefit to the county and the project to keep this remaining as is. Thank you.
If she has.
Commissioner Baxter, do you want to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. Quick question. If we didn't continue this, does that mean they would have to change, contractors would have to change their subcontractors, so on and so forth?
Could I hear from staff on that?
No, the contracts that are in place have contract terms that include the requirements of the EBO ordinance. So those are called the affirmative procurement initiatives. Those are contract terms. So those wouldn't change.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, Commissioners, County Exec. My name is Frank Hayden. I'm the Director of the Office of Small and Minority Business for the City of West Palm Beach. I spoke before you the last time on this issue, and so I'm back again to ask you to continue this program. I run a similar program for the City of West Palm Beach. And if you remember the numbers that the office showed you of 700 and some certified individuals, we have about 400 certified individuals. Those are the people who are going to be impacted seriously by the decisions that you all make today. There are a lot of businesses, you heard from one, you're going to hear from others, who depend on this program to be successful in this city. And so I'm asking you, as we are, what we're going to have to do at the city is take a look at how this program is run. The other thing I want to share with you, 5 years goes by very quickly. It takes almost a whole year to set your program up. Then we got hit by COVID, which set us back another year. And so we in the city are just now seeing the impacts of having this program in place. And so to stop it after the progress that we've made, it is not beneficial to the city. And the most important thing is this: there are a number of businesses in Palm Beach County and the city who depend on these programs. They don't have the ability to go out and work in the private sector. They have to depend on jobs that they're able to get through the public sector. So I asked you, stick with it a while longer, work out the kinks that exist, because we're going to have to do that with the city. But I think we've all said this before, just please don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And if I could just take a point of personal privilege and recognize Senator Bobby Powell is with us today. Good to see you, sir. And we also have, I think we have Bob Weissman here as well. So thank you very much for attending this hearing. Sir, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mayor. And thanks to the Commissioner for giving me the opportunity to speak up. My name is David Melendez. I'm the owner of Danville Cleaning, a janitorial company. We service, as an SBE, the South County lots from Green Acres to Boca Raton, and including the South County Courthouse. We started our business with 2 employees. Today I have 115, thanks to the efforts of Palm Beach County small business. As a small business, obtaining certifications, capital access bonding, is so difficult, and the guidance that we got from the Small Business Office was instrumental in this growth. I mean, we haven't graduated yet, but we're getting there, and I think the support of the Small Business Office is crucial to small businesses in Palm Beach County. Diversity in business does matter, and we're looking for opportunities. I think, as Frank Hayden had mentioned, the help from the public sector is crucial to our small business. So I'd like to thank you for the time you've given me.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Karen Bowman, followed by Joseph Sanchez, followed by Amy Angelo.
My name is Karen Bowman, and
You may want to put the microphone closer. Thank you.
closer to me.
There
Can you hear
go.
me? Okay. My name is Karen Bowman. I represent Street Art Revolution. We're a public art company, and we've done work with the city of West Palm Beach. We've also done work with the city of Riviera Beach and other municipalities in the area, as well as private entities. Such as the Subculture Group in West Palm Beach. You may have seen some of our work, like the Civil Rights Mural in West Palm, Louis Armstrong Mural, the Riviera Beach Marina. But a lot of that work would not have been possible without this organization that you have here. With this, I want you to continue this program. The program has had great impact on our business, and it's helped us to grow. It's also helped me to grow private clients outside municipal and public contracts. So I would hope that you would continue to support it, and please do not allow it to sunset. Approve what's before you to continue the program. And as Mr. Hayden said, we understand there's going to be problems. Work out the kinks. The staff that you have before you is wonderful. I've had the pleasure of working with these people, and they have been very, very helpful. So please give them a chance to correct any mistakes or any problems and to continue the program. And also I want to add that this program sets the tone for the whole county. You have an impact here that is far-reaching and setting that tone. And if this program should sunset, it could bring about a domino effect in a negative way. So I hope that you would continue to be the leads on diversity in our area. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Joseph Sanchez, followed by Amy Angelo, followed by Robert Lesko.
Good morning. I'm Joseph Sanchez, the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here, and congratulations to Mayor Sachs and Vice Mayor Marino on your elections as mayor and vice mayor. I want to thank the members of the Black Chamber who are here today, or who are also sent in public comments electronically. Also, just to point out, there are a number of people who could not be here today because obviously this is Thanksgiving week and people were traveling. But please know that they are very much committed to making sure that our voices be heard, and I'm here to represent them today. So the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County, your Black Chamber, encourages the commission to be consistent with your previous vote and to once again to vote to support extending the SMWBE program for additional 2 years. Primarily because of, there was significant impact on businesses, all types of businesses during the pandemic. But specifically, during that pandemic, there were a couple of actions that were taken by the commission, because you had to take those actions. It was necessary for you to take those actions in order to keep the operations going. You had to issue emergency contracts that did not have affirmative procurement initiatives in them that would have given opportunities for small minority women-owned businesses to participate. You had to do that to keep the county running. You had to extend your term contracts that you had in place in order to keep things going, to keep services flowing and supplies moving out to the communities. You had to do that, but that also took away opportunities for businesses, for small minority business to participate. You had to issue waivers in order to keep things going, projects going, things moving. Those waivers were in place because there were not opportunities for those businesses to connect with the prime contractors to get moving forward. So there are a number of things that impacted the way that you did operations, but it impacted the SMWBE program and didn't allow for it to fully develop. And we're asking that you continue the program for additional 2 years to give that program the opportunity to extend further. I do want to point out, something that's obvious, you do not hear from a lot of people opposing the extension of this program, and that's because a lot of the big firms that are out there, and I'm in the construction business myself, I've been in the construction business for 30 plus years, they're busy right now. They're eating. They have enough work right now, so they're not fighting for this program to go away. You may be hearing from some of them, but they're not in this room today because they know that they have plenty of work. Let us get a little piece of the pie. Let our members get a little piece of the pie, and let us grow and let us serve our community as well. Thank you very much.
Amy Angelo, followed by Robert Lesko, followed by Javin Walker.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Angelo, owner of Oceana Coffee here in Palm Beach County. We are a small business that started back in 2009, and I truly am living the small business is big business here in Palm Beach County. Our business started in our garage. Fast forward now to 2023, we have 2 locations, lots of wholesale, and we are the exclusive provider of coffee for the Palm Beach County Convention Center. So we are building a new facility in Lake Park that is going to serve lots of small businesses and encourage lots of other small businesses to continue to grow. But I can say without a program like this, you're changing the culture a little bit. You know, this program really presents opportunities to small businesses, and this is showing that we have a culture of supporting small business. You know, without a program like this in place, the Palm Beach County Convention Center may never look at us. Yes, we have the best coffee in North America, possibly the world, and we have the trophies to prove it. But when your price can't be matched by those really big guys that come from out of town, the opportunities are gone. So I really encourage you to sustain this program because the culture really needs to permeate not just in government, but throughout Palm Beach County as a whole. We do need to do a lot to preserve our small businesses here in Palm Beach County, and this program is doing an amazing job. I've actually sat on the board since 2017, so I have learned a lot. I'm a very vocal member of the community trying to promote small business, so I encourage you to continue this program. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bob Lesko. I hold seat number 6, Business Incubator Programs on the Advisory Committee. I also represent the Palm Beach County chapter of SCORE. I've been a SCORE mentor. Been a Palm Beach County resident since 1957, seen a lot of changes. The program is so beneficial to all of our clients, not just Palm Beach County clients that are directly affiliated with the OEBO, but also all the SCORE clients that we reach out to, that we can refer to them. And we found that to be extremely beneficial to them financially, and also the opportunity to grow their business by partnering with some of the larger firms. So thank you very much for considering this ordinance.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Javin Walker, and it looks like Eric. Somebody, your last 4 digits of your phone number are 9542.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Javin Walker, president of 2SBW and Associates. We're in District 6. I'm proud to say that, but I'm also the chair of the OEB Office of Equal Business Opportunity that basically is a part of this item that are before you. I want to thank you for the opportunity that Palm Beach County have given to us with this this item. I'm in full support of this item because I'll be just very honest with you, being a small business, we need it. I hear the pies and all that type of things that we're using, but small businesses need this in order to survive. So it's been doing a great job. Is it probably 100% what we want it to be? No, but as the chair of the committee, I can tell you that we're working on it each and every day on how we can improve it, and just like anything else, we'll just keep working at it. So I'm asking for your support. I'm asking you to understand us small businesses in Palm Beach County. Small business is big business, and we look to continue to do that. And thank you for your opportunity. And congratulations to you, new mayor and vice mayor.
Thank you,
God
sir.
bless.
If I could have Commissioner Baxter, please.
Actually, I wanted to ask the gentleman a question. Hi. Chair, if you don't mind, I am curious, since we're going to work on the program, making it better, do you have anything you would like to see done better?
Well, it's always things we can say that we would like to see done better. We're working on that. We're working with staff. They're constantly asking for ideas from not only myself, but from the board members. We just keep working at it each and every day. We try to put things in place, percentages, things like that, that we will hope that the prime contractors would do to try and do that. But it's going to take both. It's going to take both. Not only is it going to take the primes and things like that and all the different things that we've put in place, but it's also going to take us as small businesses to come out and make sure that we're supportive and learn. I think a lot of what needs to happen is we have to continue to work hard to educate just everyone, not just the small businesses. And I think staff is doing a great job. I know they are. It's just challenging. And hopefully, and I know you will see in the next 2 years, if you approve this, the numbers increase, and we look for things like that. And I look to speak with you as it relates to it, Ms. Baxter, being that I'm in your county, in your region, rather.
I know, and I look forward to some conversations, which would be great, but anything specific?
Just work hard. That's all I can say, and work hard. I wish I could tell you something specific. Looking at the numbers, I can't say anything specific other than continue to have support. We need support. That's what's going to be the biggest thing. We need support from all of you to believe in this program and to support us.
What are the best things about this program?
The best thing is that it provides opportunity for small businesses and people like me, you, and anyone else that are out here, all my colleagues and people that have been out here talking. It provides an opportunity for us to feed our families.
And you believe without the program you wouldn't be able to?
I'm 100% sure that the small businesses will not survive without this program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ezra Sappho. I'm owner of All Site Construction. We have been around for 20 years. I am a direct product of Palm Beach County and the ordinances that I fully support today. I need this ordinance to help continue to grow my company. Currently, we employ 20 people locally. The staff are great. They hold us accountable. They have helped us grow. They have allowed us to have mentor-protege relationships with larger companies that we would normally not be able to have an opportunity to learn the processes and systems that have helped our company grow and do some of the larger projects that you guys put out. I would just say that, please, don't get rid of it. I need it, and some of my colleagues need it, and we love the staff, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That is the end of our cards.
Very good. At this time, could I entertain a motion? Commissioner Bernard, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the ordinance to extend it from December 31st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025.
And I have a second with Commissioner Weiss, but Commissioner Baxter, you would like to say something?
I was hoping staff would be able to give us some updates from the last meeting we had 2 weeks ago prior to voting on this, so we could make an informed decision. I had asked for the status of that process to become a woman-owned business and the subjectivity of it. Do we have any updates regarding that process? What does it look like?
Chief
From
Turner?
start to finish, application submitted to whether they get it or not. How do we do that?
Yes, Ms. Baxter, we're prepared to discuss that with you and the rest of the board.
Good morning. My name is Alan Gray, the manager of the Office of Equal Business Opportunity, and I'll be going over the overview of the certification and waiver process for the office as it
Very
pertains to
good.
certification. So certification is a procedure that the Office of Equal Business Opportunity uses to determine whether a firm is a bona fide small or minority women-owned business. Firms must satisfy each eligibility criteria for certification. Every 3 years, certified businesses are required to submit their most recent tax returns and other supporting documentation in order for us to determine their continued program eligibility.
Excuse me, just real quick, do we have the certification criteria?
Yes, I'm going to go on
Okay,
over that.
it's part of, thank you.
The certification, our certification is accepted with Solid Waste Authority, South Florida Water Management District, and the City of Riviera Beach. Additionally, Palm Beach County is engaged in an interlocal agreement with the City of West Palm Beach and the School District of Palm Beach County, in which certified vendors with either of these agencies may request an interlocal cover sheet for certification. Now, while this interlocal certification is not reciprocal, it allows those vendors that are currently certified with any one of these agencies to seek certification with one of the participating agencies. So to get into the crux of it, say it, you can say it. Okay, that's okay. So we're going to go over the vendor certification eligibility criteria. First, one thing that requires that the vendor become a registered vendor with Palm Beach County. Also, the requirement is that they have to be registered with the state of Florida, file their paperwork with SunBiz in order to be considered a legal entity. They also must obtain a business tax receipt where applicable. There are some certain situations where they're exempt from getting a business tax receipt. So when the case they are required to have one, they must submit one with their application. They also must have a significant business presence. And the business must be independently owned and operated. Now, for minority and women business ownership, they must at least be 51% owned, managed, and controlled by one or more minority groups or women that is ready, willing, and able to provide goods and services to Palm Beach County. So on the certification cycle, like I said, the first step is the vendor registration. So once the vendor goes in and gets registered, they're identified in VSS as having applied for certification. That opens the door for them to then seek certification with our office if they choose to do so. They have the option of either going through the regular process or expediting that certification review process, and it can be either a paper process or an online process. Once the application is received by our office, it's then assigned to a specialist who will then review all the documentations that's submitted by the applicant or request additional documentation if needed. Once the specialist has done their review, it is then submitted to me for final review. If I have any questions, I'll give it back to the specialist to get some additional documentation or answer any questions that I may have. And once it meets my approval, then I go ahead and either certify, approve, or deny that application.
May I ask a question? How does the specialist determine if they've met the criteria?
Well, there are criteria outlined in the ordinance.
Is there a list of criteria that they check, or is it based on a conversation?
Well,
How are we doing that?
Well, there's a document list that is with the application that shows what documentation needs to be submitted for our review. So depending on the structure of the business, whether or not they're applying for minority status or not, or how many years they've been in business, it all determines what documentation they will need to submit. And once they submit that documentation, the specialist reviews that information, and if they need any additional information, they obviously can ask for additional information to make that determination.
And then as long as that list is completed, they're approved?
Not always approved. They can't be denied even though they submit all the documentation,
Based on what?
based on the documentation itself. So the documentation may say something totally different than the application may say. So in some cases, and you got to 50-50, someone comes in and says they're a minority-owned business, but we look at the tax documentation, they say, well, the majority ownership is held by a non-minority. So even though they submitted that documentation and applied for minority status, we have a contradicting document that they submitted that says they do not have 100% ownership of that business.
Mayor, may I? Mayor, well, may I say
Mr.
something?
Durden.
Commissioner, I'm concerned that we were certainly prepared to respond to this question. I think that we certainly had a flow to explain all the elements that you're concerned with, and if possible, just so we can stay on track and be consistent, make sure we cover every detail. If we can just get through that portion of it, and then we can provide questions at that point, because I think part of the presentation will have many of the questions that you have.
Well, my concern is that during the application process, I have been told that is all based on the interview done with the applicant. And if they don't give an answer they deem appropriate.
Understood, and that's part of what he's going to be discussing as well.
So where do you want to pick up at?
Do you wish to continue with the presentation?
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
okay.
Commissioner Baxter, you can have Commissioner Bernard, did you have something to say right now?
Yeah,
Go to the application.
thanks, Madam Mayor.
The application.
I guess I'm trying to get to Commissioner Baxter, regarding your questions, is there a way for us to, if it's denied, is there a way for this board to be able to discuss this? And so in that way, we have a process for this board to weigh in on if someone's been denied.
Ms. Baxter, Ms. Baker.
There is an appeals process, And so if someone is denied, they have a right to appeal. That
To
is
where?
To the director of the office. That's why she's not involved in the review process. And so if it goes from there, then we've got our attorney that also sits there. It is laid out in the ordinance, what is required. And we sent our people, they have been certified, that end up certifying these particular businesses. And the reason we sit down and we discuss things with the applicant is because sometimes they may leave something out on the application that when we're interviewing them, they can provide that additional information to us. So there's always communication between the applicant and the reviewer. And again, they have a right to appeal. And we do include the county attorney's office in that process.
Additionally, if I may, Madam Administrator, in the event that they do not agree with my determination, they have the right to appeal and go to a special master. That is in the ordinance. That is a provision that is clearly stated.
You know, I know for me, it's just that I don't want to go to a special master. You know, I'd like to see what we can do. I know we're discussing the 2 years right now, but there are some issues in regards to certification, and I have some issues regarding it. Commissioner Baxter or other commissioners may have those issues. I'd like to see what we can do to change the ordinance to allow us to be able to weigh in where we don't have to rely on the special master. And so if we're able to bring this back or to have a discussion, I'd like for us to be able to, this board to make that decision.
Administrator Baker?
I was going to suggest that we bring back the criteria and the ordinance, the section of the ordinance that governs it, go through it with the board, and if the board wants to weigh in and give us your input on what needs to be changed, what doesn't need to be changed, I'm happy to do that. I'm going to suggest that when we bring it back, that we do it for a workshop. That way, it gives us plenty of time to go through it, discuss it, and bring it back to you, unless otherwise different direction is given.
Vice Mayor Marino's had her light on. Go right ahead, Vice Mayor.
I have comments, but I think if we're going to continue with the presentation, I will hold my comments till after.
Okay, very good. And I'm going to get back with you in just a minute, Commissioner Baxter. Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I was just, and thank you, Madam Administrator. I think this needs to be workshopped. I mean, I don't see us during this meeting with this item being able to rework that ordinance. And so I would suggest, you know, if you need a presentation, go ahead with the presentation. I'm ready to move this thing forward.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Baxter, you still have your light on? Go right ahead.
A couple things. I would like to have a date when this will come back to us before we leave. That we would be seeing it again. So this isn't
For a
just
workshop.
Correct. For that
Okay, we'll get
workshop
there.
is fine.
We'll certainly
And
get
so,
there.
and then secondly, if we could do one more thing before, and I won't require the rest of this presentation, and we can get on with it. I have one major concern, and really in a word, it's kind of transparency. And so one of the things I would like to, and I can wait after this motion, but I do plan to make the motion, or I could do it now. But I'd like a motion that we have a clerk, somebody at all of the meetings to record them, and that they are publicly accessible. I think transparency is a huge problem. We shouldn't have to do public records requests in order to get minutes for these meetings. I think that if we had a clerk from Mr. Abruzzo's office, who's no longer here, that would be amazing. On the goal-setting committee, on the OEBO advisory board, and any of the subcommittees, any of those committees with this, I think transparency is key. We need to know what, and have easy access to those, and links to them directly available for people on our website. And I would even take it a step further, but I'd be happy with that, and say, have them recorded like we are. If we are Sunshine and we are transparent, everyone should be able to watch live what is going on at these meetings.
I think that would probably be a good motion, but that would
I can do it
maybe
after, 'cause there's one
probably
on
be done during the workshop as we work through this ordinance. But before you're going to say anything, Mr. Dernan, we've got Commissioner Woodward who'd like to say something. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Did you want to respond directly to that?
I-
It's a
I
separate
would.
question.
Yes.
If that's okay, Mayor?
Our minutes are currently on the OEBO website for goal setting for the OEBO Advisory Committee. The minutes are there, the meeting notices are there. Our meetings are accessible by WebEx. We provide a link on the public meeting schedule for the goal setting meeting, for the OEBO Advisory Board meeting. Those things are currently in place.
So this is something that we could take up at a workshop, but I appreciate that response.
Mayor,
Vice Mayor,
if I
sure,
might,
Dernan.
I'm sorry. They are available online, just as Ms. Johnson said. The reason they were sent to you is because we were asked to send them to you. So that isn't the only way you could get them is by public records request or asking us to deliver them to them. They're available online currently as we speak.
And how are they recorded? The minutes, how are they recorded?
There is a recording device in the purchasing conference room that is used to record the minutes.
And are those video recordings posted online?
We
Or
have not
excuse me,
posted,
those,
we have not posted the actual recording online, but they are available.
I mean, I don't want to wait till workshop for transparency. I don't think that's really a policy thing. I'd rather, you know, I'll, at the end of this, because there's a motion on the table
Right.
currently, make that motion today for, I would like somebody from the clerk's office to be present at all those meetings, to record them, and a video recording that can be posted, because from what I understand, these recording devices are very antiquated.
Okay, Vice Mayor Marino.
I have a couple comments. If they're, to jump off what Commissioner Baxter said, if these are recorded, if there is the WebEx, there is a record opportunity on that, correct? So a link to that recording could be put on the website, so we don't have to do anything more than make that available. Because oftentimes when something is recorded and it's if it's not written word for word in the minutes,
No, I'm supposed to do this.
it isn't 100% transparent. So if the WebEx is available and recorded, that, I think that would solve that. As for the workshop, I would like to see if there is a feasibility, if it's feasible that someone from Solid Waste Authority's department sit on that, because the complete failure of this program astounds me, not in the sense of the people that are certified, but in the recording process. This is just my monthly Solid Waste Authority update, and there's 4 pages that have to do with the Equal Business Opportunity Program. The fact that we haven't gotten a report in 5 years is disgraceful. And I'd also, separate and apart from this, I have some comments in my final comments, but I don't want to see it objective versus, I don't want to see it subjective versus objective. This should not be subjective. And I know the comment was made about the ordinance is clearly stated. Well, the ordinance is clearly stated that we were supposed to have a report and we didn't. So that, and if it were up to me, I would not be approving this today. And it has nothing to do, let me say this again because I said it the last time. It has nothing to do with the program itself. It has to do with the efficiency of how, the inefficiency of how this program has been administered. I apologize, but the failures are evident, and the fact that an ordinance that sunsets comes to us in such a short period of time that we really don't even have enough time to go and get information. And I have been getting calls from contractors that don't think this program is successful, and I have been getting calls from other folks who have commented about our staff on this program. So if you look at the duties of Office of EBO, and you know me, I always have papers, you know, the recording duties are very specific on at least an annual basis. And I am so tired of hearing COVID as an excuse for everything. I do not want to hear those words anymore. We are done. We are out of COVID. Life goes on. We have to adjust. But monitoring and support the implementation of the program policies and procedure. I mean, I could read on and on what the failures have been. Oversee the maintenance of an accurate contract performance and compliance reporting. So reporting is something that hasn't been done. So while I know that this is going to pass today, I am really, really disappointed with how this has been handled. And I appreciate our administrator saying, you know, she's taking responsibility for it. That doesn't solve the problem. In one last thing too, I know that Commissioner Bernard made the motion, but he did not include the increases that were suggested, from 9 to 13 million.
Oh.
So
No, those
know.
increases are not
They're not
part
on
of
the
this
table.
motion.
Okay. All right. So those are my words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I recognize Commissioner Woodward.
Yes, thank you. My question is, if this passes today and then we do a workshop on it, at the workshop, does that give us a chance to make changes to this ordinance, or are we stuck with the ordinance as is if it goes today?
All right, Madam.
No, we're actually approving the ordinance today. Now,
Ordinances be changed without a study.
So if we do a workshop at this point moving forward, what is the purpose of doing a workshop if we're not allowed to make any changes?
Let me ask, okay.
Let me clarify.
Baker,
thank
go
you.
ahead.
Any ordinance, if we bring this ordinance back to you, you workshop it, and you've got more directions or clarity that you want to give us, then you give us the direction to go back and amend that ordinance. We come back to you with preliminary reading and permission to advertise with the changes, and then we bring it back for adoption if there are other things in the ordinance that you want to change.
we have limited room to make changes during this 2-year time, but I see no problem in changing the appeal process. That would be permissible.
So what we can do when we bring it back, those are things that you're going to give us direction. We'll then come back to you. You can, with what you directed, at that point, we will have worked with legal, and we will know what we can and cannot change. I think the scope of it, such as the API, though that's what the study supported, and that's what we're looking to find out if that works. If it doesn't, the new study or update will tell us that it's not working. And then that's how we change the API. But the other administrative kinds of things that you want changed, we can address those issues, I believe.
So would we be able to have the workshop before the end of the year?
We have our, got our November meeting. We can't put it on there.
No. No, I know.
It doesn't work there. The other workshop that we have, that's November. We do not have a December workshop because that's the end of the month and it's the holidays. So our next workshop is January. We can definitely put it on the January workshop.
So we cannot workshop this before it sunsets?
If the board approves it today, if you do it, if you extend the 2 years, then we can come back and do it. If it sunsets, it doesn't pass today, then it's sunset. And then we'll have to, you'll give us direction on what you want us to do from that point forward.
So could we at least get legal direction if we were to postpone this until we come back and have you tell us what changes we are allowed to make on the ordinance as it is, passing it? I would like a little clarity on what we will be able to do in a workshop and what we won't be able to.
Yeah, we can't change the substantive parts of the programs, like the APIs and the meat of how we're applying these affirmative procurement initiatives, because that's the meat of the program that the study actually told us to take. So we can't change that until we have a new study to back that up, any changes. But we can do administrative things. We can do clerical things. We can certainly change the appeal process. That's, we can come back with several options for that at the workshop.
So you were in my agenda review yesterday. A lot of the suggestions that I wanted to bring to the board for us to give direction for, those would be considered administrative then? As far as, like, with the prime contractors? All of that would be
Yes,
administrative?
that's administrative. If it's referring to what we discussed on yesterday, those are administrative things that we've already started to talk about.
Okay, and that's something that we could address at the workshop, and those are changes that we could
That
put
we
into
can
the
make,
ordinance?
right, to the interim ordinance.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if we could have a workshop, then I will reserve those comments for the workshop. Okay.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Bernard.
So, thank you, Madam Mayor. So, just to make sure, the workshop, we're going to agree that it'll be the January meeting. I do support Commissioner Baxter's transparency that she'll present to us afterwards. And I do support Vice Mayor Marino's idea of bringing the Solid Waste Authority to the meeting, so in that way to help, and also to, on the WebEx, for us to do the recordings as necessary. So those are the things that are to improve this program. Of course, it's not perfect, but we're moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and Commissioner Baxter.
The only thing I didn't see in this that Commissioner Bernard had asked for at the last meeting were dates. He put a deadline of July 1st that we were supposed to, things were supposed to come back to this board throughout this 2 years. And I would like at least quarterly, could we add that, quarterly reports added to this motion, and at least every 6 months coming before this board with an update in person.
Okay, so right now, we have a motion and a second. We can amend the motion. So if you'd like to, go ahead,
Madam
Commissioner
Mayor, I think
Bernard.
I'd like to keep this motion as is, and when Commissioner Baxter is going to bring the transparency motion, that can be added.
Perfect.
into-
Okay,
fine.
very good.
Thank you.
So for the Madam Clerk, we have the motion and a second, but at this time, Commissioner Baxter, you're going to amend.
I'm going to wait until this motion.
You're going to wait
concludes,
until
and
it's
then I'll
filed.
vote.
Okay, good, very good. All right, so let's have a vote. All those in favor of the motion as presented by Commissioner Bernard? All right, and anybody opposed? See that it passes 7-0. All right, now, you're on, Commissioner Baxter.
So I would like to make the motion that we have a clerk from Clerk Abruzzo's office at every one of the OEBO goal-setting committee board meetings. And I believe there's one more that is, the name of it is escaping me. Yes, the OEB, yeah, correct, that one. And also, I would like to have, in this motion, I'd like quarterly reports and at least in-person updates every 6 months during this 2 years.
Clerk Abruzzo, did you want to state anything about that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Sure.
First off, we are willing, able, and ready to assist the commission at your orders for anything that you give our office. We are here to serve you. That said, I just wanted some clarity. We would be doing it if the motion passes in similar fashion that we do the board. They would be a summary of minutes. However, we would be recording the meetings, and a transcript will be provided if asked. It wouldn't be in like a court stenographer setting where we're live typing, if you will. So I just want to be clear, and if that's the commissioner's wishes, or the commission's wishes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Abruzzo. Okay, has that, all right, and we have Commissioner Bernard second the motion. All those approve? All those, anybody oppose? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Very good. Thank you, Clerk Abruzzo, for coming back to the meeting. Okay, we're going to move right on. Thank you, staff. All right, we're moving to the next public hearing, which is on page 54, B1, 4B1, and that includes 1, 2, and 3. Commissioner Barnett.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt an ordinance.
Very good.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Weiss, do you want to second it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going to
very good.
second. I'm going to second item 4B1, 2, and 3.
I don't think we need a presentation at this time. All those in favor, anybody opposed, see that it passes 7-0. Very good, thank you, Todd. Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along to 4C1, 4C1 Housing and Economic Development. Do we have any comments,
got
or
moved.
do we need
No, that's okay, it just got moved.
any
That's 5.
presentation? Or did we move this one, right?
No, it didn't move from regular to, it got moved from regular to public hearings. Was the announcement.
Okay, everybody with me? It's on housing and economic development, and it's on a public hearing. It's been moved here.
5C1.
Does anybody like a staff presentation before they sit down and get comfortable? Okay. And do we have any, we don't have any cards.
I'll make a
So we
motion.
have a motion.
I have a motion to approve item 4C1.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Vice Mayor Marino. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes 7-0. Moving right along to, now we're on to the regular agenda. And we're going to reorder this at this time, I believe.
Well, let's just, I think we can probably just.
Maybe we could just move on to.
I'll go ahead and make a motion on item 5A1, A, and B.
Very good.
We have a second from.
Second by Commissioner Barnett. All those approved, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Thanks for coming to speak.
Mayor, I'll make a motion on item 5B1, A, and B.
Very good. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Barnett. All those in favor? Anybody disapprove? See that it passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Moving right along. We are now on
5D1.
5D1. 5D1, Planning, Zoning, and Building, on page 61. And do we have?
We have
do
some
do we-
cards, too.
Oh, we have cards, okay. And I think we're going to get a presentation as well. So, good morning.
Mayor, good morning. We do have a brief presentation for you on this item. Relates to a large-scale annexation. Just want to seek that the City of Palm Beach Gardens is engaged in, and certainly it crosses into other areas with other cities that have interest in it as well. And we just wanted to give the board an opportunity to hear about it, seek any direction you might have, and just bring you up to speed. Certainly have a number of annexation items that appear to be out there, so we're going to take this opportunity also to just do a brief primer on statutory requirements and what's involved in annexations in general. So with that, I will hand it over to Kevin Fisher to run us through that.
Very good. Go right ahead.
All right. Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. So before we get into some of the specifics on some of the specific annexations, I just wanted to go through a few more general slides with respect to annexation, because there are a number of different methods by which a municipality can annex unincorporated lands. So the process and methods of annexation are laid out in Florida Statute Chapter 171. I also want to note that the county's comprehensive plan does include policy language within the intergovernmental coordination element with respect to annexations, recognizing there are certain areas and enclaves that can become service delivery challenges, and recognizes there are certain locations where annexations are appropriate. With respect to Chapter 171, there are certain standards by which a proposal should be looked at to see if it is appropriate for annexation, ensuring sound urban development and accommodation to growth, establishing uniform standards throughout the state of Florida, ensure the efficient provision of urban services to areas that become urban in character, as well as ensuring that areas are not annexed unless municipal services can be provided to those areas. Okay, so now I'm going to run through the four main types of annexations that are laid out in Florida statute. The first is voluntary annexation, and that is where a property owner petitions an adjacent municipality in order to be annexed. So these are typically smaller scale annexations, could be one property. Municipality is required to review the ordinance at a public hearing, first reading, and then hold a separate public hearing or second reading adopting the ordinance. The second type, and one that we'll be talking about on the next item, is the enclave annexation through interlocal agreement. This is again specified in Chapter 171 of Florida statute and allows for the annexation of enclaves. So this can occur once the Florida legislature declares that a certain area meets the criteria as an enclave. It is limited to 110 acres or smaller in size, and upon the finding by the legislature that the area meets the criteria for an enclave, an interlocal agreement is to be entered into between the annexing municipality as well as the county. Okay, third type of annexation is a legislative annexation, and this is where the particular municipality requests that a member of the county legislative delegation sponsor a special act to enlarge its legal boundaries. And last, and we'll be talking about shortly, is a referendum annexation. With respect to this type of annexation, it must not be in the boundaries of another municipality. It must be unincorporated lands, and part of or all of the area must be developed for urban purposes. The proposed annexing municipality must file an urban services report with the Board of County Commissioners. That report is required to contain plans for providing urban services and the method of financing improvements within that area. And last, does result in a referendum, and consent of landowners may be required. So here, this is just a few graphics highlighting some of the different referendum scenarios, particularly if it is, if there are electors on the properties or if it is non-electors. So the first scenario would be, so the city holds 2 public hearings to adopt the ordinance. The city holds a referendum of the areas to be annexed, and if a majority of those voting in favor of the annexation, then that annexation is effective on the date specified in the ordinance, and that would be a simple majority. Okay, referendum scenario 2 is where if more than 70% of the land area that's being proposed for annexation is owned by non-registered electors. Again, the municipality would hold 2 public hearings for the adoption of that ordinance. The city obtains consent from owners of more than 50% of the land area within that proposed annexation area. City holds a referendum of that area proposed for annexation, and if a majority of those voting in favor of annexation, then the annexation again is effective on the date specified within the ordinance. Okay, and referendum scenario 3, and the final one that we have, is if there are 100% of the landowners are not registered electors. In this scenario, the city would need to obtain consent of owners of more than 50% of the parcels. Upon obtaining that majority consent, the city would then hold 2 public hearings to adopt the ordinance. In this scenario, because there are no registered electors on any of the properties, no referendum is required, and the annexation becomes effective. Okay, and I can pause here. That's kind of the intro to annexation slides before we get into some of the more specifics.
Very good. Thank you so much. Do we have any comments from or questions for the staff? I believe we have some cards.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Mayor, if it's okay, then we'll dive a little more specifically into the Palm Beach Gardens related item.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so the map on the screen is showing you the areas there in purple that are being proposed by annexation by the city of Palm Beach Gardens specifically as we were going through the different methods, the referendum method. I'll note, and you'll see on the next slide, it is broken down into 5 geographic areas, which is listed here. So the first and largest of the areas is just under 1,200 acres in size. There are about 3,600 dwelling units in Area 1 with an estimated population of 7,670. And that first area is known as Cabana Colony. The second is the McLaren Road, Ellison-Wilson area. And these last 4 are much smaller in size than the first area. This is just over 20 acres in size with 74 dwelling units, an estimated population of 157. Area 3, Pirate Cove, it's about 31 acres in size with 63 dwelling units and estimated population of 134. Area 4, Monet Acres, with nearly 33 acres of property with 71 dwelling units and an estimated population of 151. And lastly, Area 5, Monet Gardens, nearly 39 acres in size with 113 dwelling units and an estimated population of 240. So in totality, with the 5 areas, it is 1,316 acres with 3,928 dwelling units and an estimated population of around 8,350. So I'll go through these slides pretty briefly, but these are just putting a geographical depiction of those 5 areas. And then we have also noted on these maps, because we'll also talk about proposed annexation by North Palm Beach, and there are some areas where there is overlap between the two. So on the kind of right side, just below the center, you'll see that red rectangle. So that's highlighting an area where both Palm Beach Gardens as well as North Palm Beach are seeking annexation. We'll note in this first area there are 6 Palm Beach County-owned parcels totaling 20.7 acres. There's a Palm Beach County School District parcel totaling nearly 18 acres and 6 other publicly owned parcels totaling 8.6 acres. Ooh. Huh, I don't know why the chart is not showing up, but I will run through. So what the table on this slide is supposed to be showing, and it should be in your printouts, are the county-owned parcels. Like I mentioned, there are. Weird. So there are 6 parcels. I'll read through them so it's clear. So the first one is 0.1 acres in size, and it is a right-of-way buffer. The second county-owned parcel is 1.47 acres in size on Holiday Road, and that is Department of Control as Parks and Recreation, and that is Cabana Colony Park. The third property is 0.47 acres in size on alternate A1A. The Department of Control is Facilities Department and Operation, and that is government facilities leased to PBSO for the Police Athletic League program. The fourth county-owned parcel is 1.5 acres in size on Lone Pine Road. The Department of Control is Environmental Resources Management, and that is the Prosperity Oaks Natural Area. The fifth is 13.96 acres in size, and that is on Juneau Road, and that is the Department of Control is Parks and Recreation, and that is Juneau Park. And the sixth and final county-owned parcel is 3.22 acres in size. Again, Environmental Resources Management, the Department of Control, and that is the Paw Paw Preserve Natural Area. And again, I apologize that the table did not show up on the slide. Okay, and this map is showing area number 2, and again, the red rectangle is highlighting the area of called conflict between where Gardens and North Lake are proposing annexation. Here we have Area 3. Again, the rectangle represents where both municipalities are seeking that property. Area 4, Monet Acres and Monet Heights. There are no areas in this location where there are the two municipalities seeking that referendum. And the 5th area, again, just Palm Beach Gardens proposed, is Monet Gardens. Now moving on, so as I had mentioned, North Palm Beach is also proposing a referendum for some annexations. I highlighted before the several areas of overlap. Again, all referendum areas will require that 50% plus one vote or a simple majority of the votes cast in the referendum. And again, Area 1 includes 2 publicly owned parcels totaling 6 acres, and all right-of-way owned by North Palm Beach County Improvement District. And here, this is showing the 3 North Palm Beach annexation areas. The first area is about 63 acres in size, 91 dwelling units, and an estimated population of 193. Area 2 is 14 acres in size, with 32 dwelling units and an estimated population of 68. And the third annexation area is 17 acres in size with 71 dwelling units and an estimated population of 151. So that concludes the presentation, and there's no ordinance or resolution before the board for adoption, but providing an opportunity, one, to highlight the annexation before us, and then again with the properties that are owned by the county if the board had concerns or wanted to, weigh in on any of that. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I would, in seeking direction from staff, how do we keep our properties out of all of this? I think that we would benefit by that.
Sir?
Well, there's not really any way we can keep we can request that our properties be excluded, but that's going to create enclaves within this annexation area, which are not allowed. So, if the votes get approved, our properties are going to become part of that municipality.
And Mayor, if I could just add on that point, we certainly would appreciate board's direction to authorize the mayor to sign a letter opposing it. It's consistent with what we've done all along. So I think that point might come down the road in the future, but at least to express our position and to be consistent.
I would like to make that request.
Could you, so in other words, Commissioner Weiss, the request would be to...
A letter from under your signature.
Right.
That would opposing our properties in this annexations.
At the county, okay, and we would be able to, we need to specify, I'm sure, the geographic locations of those.
We will, yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. If I could hear from Commissioner Marino, Vice Mayor Marino. Did you want to say that?
Thank you. As you know, I'm a Palm Beach Gardens resident, and when I became a Palm Beach Gardens City Council member, had the future annexation plan book put in front of me. These properties were all in that, so this is not a surprise to anybody that this was going to occur. And other annexations have occurred around the county with county property and without. And I know Juno Beach would like to have. They would like a voluntary annexation of the county for one of our parks, which I don't think is necessary. This is only 20 acres, so I think the reason the county most of the time would not want to be annexed is because the county has its control on when it is unincorporated, and then when you have a new jurisdiction, if there's anything on that property that you want to change, that would fall within the new jurisdiction. The district park, which is in Palm Beach Gardens, which is 80 acres, actually it's county property, but it is an agreement with the county and the city, and then the city then developed the park. So there's ways that the county and the cities have worked together, whether the property is annexed or not. But as for this annexation, we have a motion on the table, but I would like to talk strictly for this motion here. but I know we have comment cards, so what order do we need to do this in?
Commissioner Moreno, are you done with your comments?
I
Because
am-
there's other comments who,
I was going to just make a staff is seeking direction. I don't see why we should oppose the annexation, especially because this annexation, and it's in 5 zones, so it's 5 different votes on the Palm Beach Gardens ballot in March. Area 1 will vote, Area 2 will vote, Area 3 will vote, Area 4 will vote, and Area 5 will vote. As a matter of fact, Area 4 and 5 are actually one of these areas is truly an enclave already. I believe that's Area 4 is truly, truly an enclave. It's totally surrounded by Palm Beach Gardens. That's what we try not to have. So that is why people would vote one way or the other. But as it's going on the ballot, that means that the voters actually have the opportunity to say yes or no to this. And I believe we should give the voters that opportunity. So I would like to direct staff to support the annexation of these 5 parcels, because this is going to be voted on by the voters. They are the ones at the end of the day that have the choice.
okay, thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor. Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. I more so had a question. If 2 cities are competing to annex the same property, how does that get decided?
So, well, if the 2 cities are fighting with each other, they could potentially go to through the intergovernmental dispute resolution process. But my understanding is the way this would work is that the ballot would have, for the areas affected that they're competing over, the ballot's going to have a question. Do you want to be annexed into North Palm Beach? Do you want to be annexed into Palm Beach
So as like
Gardens?
a question on the ballot?
Yeah.
Great. And then lastly, if I may, Mayor, and again, there's a motion on here, but in referendum scenario number 2, we've had recently issues with them just, page 3 of our packet, with them just annexing, or the majority of the property they're annexing being commercial property. And I dislike that. And is there a way we can add that to our legislative agenda to ask our state legislature to take a look? Or we can put some wording together that might help avoid them just taking commercial property in the future and causing small business prices to go up due to higher taxes, additional everything being in those cities, and we are powerless to help them.
And if that's the board direction, we can work with legislative affairs staff and
Without
work on that.
objection, everyone? Does anyone object? Yeah, so,
Could
thank
you,
you.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Woodward,
Baxter. It's
Baxter,
okay.
could you state your, is this something that's going to need all of our approval to just recommend it to our legislative delegation, Mr. Rutter?
Just looking for direction to include it to the legislative
Thank you.
Delegation?
list of issues for the delegation. We're working with our legislative affairs staff to pursue it, addressing the point
So
on
it would,
annexations.
it would need all of our approval for this?
We're just
or-
looking for direction, the same way that this board will look at the legislative, the
Okay, then, Commissioner Baxter, could you restate your motion to have something placed with the legislative delegation, please?
Just
Just direction, so without objection, I would like to direct staff to work with our legislative team, government affairs, to come up with a way we can work with our state to potentially stop annexation of just commercial or majority commercial properties.
Okay. I know you want to say something, Commissioner Woodward, and also Commissioner Bernard over here, but do we need a second for this before we have a vote? Okay. Is there anybody who would be opposed to bringing that before the legislative delegation? No? Seeing none? Very good. We'll bring it before the legislative delegation. Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. My question to Commissioner Marino, if we were to go with writing a letter where we're not opposing this because it's going to go to the voters, is there language that we can put in there? Because we have 2 that are Parks and Recreation and 2 that are so that, whatever that interlocal agreement is that already exists, to encourage that, you know, we would support it so long as you let us maintain with an interlocal agreement control over our property.
I'd
Vice
be
Mayor?
fine with that. I just would have to know what the legalities of it, because in fact, it does become they do become enclaves. So I don't know what the legality of that is, and I'm not an attorney, and I don't play one on TV.
Denise?
Do we have interlocals over these?
Historically, we have done interlocal agreements with cities where we've either given up measures of control from our end or vice versa. So it has been done in the past. It would require some work to craft one that would meet this objective, but the concept has been achieved in the past, yes.
I have no problem with that. Thank you for the question.
Good, thank you, Commissioner Woodward. Commissioner Bernard?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't like the fact that two cities are fighting over some of the same land, but I do support Commissioner Marino's motion in support of this. Let the voters decide. Thank you.
All right, very good. Is there any other board comments? We have a couple of cards.
Melissa, looks like Wiegand, followed by R. Max Lohman. You can each approach a lectern. Thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
Pull the microphone down.
Good morning. Thank you very much for letting me speak. I'm here in opposition to this annexation as a resident of Area 1. Per the Florida State Statute, Chapter 171, Municipal Annexation or Contraction Act, how is this vast amount of land, be it over 1,100 acres, considered to be compactness and not creating enclaves, pockets, or fingers in serpentine patterns, as mentioned in Chapter 171.031 definitions? Area 1 is misrepresented on the Palm Beach Gardens map because it fails to designate the 8 lots that were sold between 1679 Pleasant Drive and 1815 Pleasant Drive that were annexed into the town of Juno Beach. And those parcels clearly create a finger that serpentines at the northeast section of Area 1. Additionally, the Pleasant Ridge POA is not coterminous with any portion of the city of Palm Beach Gardens unless the city creates a corridor by annexing platted land, to include 5 property associations, starting with Waterway Vista and ending with Shell Sub on North Palm Circle. Then Palm Beach Gardens has to annex Juneau Park, owned by Palm Beach County, to get to the properties contained within Pleasant Ridge POA on the west side of Ellison Wilson Road. In Chapter 171.043, the character of the area to be annexed, a municipal governing body may propose to be annexed an area only if it meets the general standards of subsection 1 and the requirements of either subsection 2 or subsection 3. Subsection 1, the total area to be annexed must be contiguous to the municipality's boundaries at the time of the annexation proceeding is begun and reasonably compact, and no part of the area shall be included within the boundary of another incorporated municipality. The parcels at 1647 and 1657 Pleasant Drive are owned by Life Space Communities, the parent company of the Waterford, and these lots have plans to be annexed into the town of Juno Beach in the future. So let's look at this on a macro level, shall we? You've got unincorporated parcels in Palm Beach County with a North Palm Beach address. Then you've got 2 lots with future annexation plans into Juno Beach, then back into unincorporated Palm Beach County. Then it switches to 8 lots which were already annexed into Juno Beach. Then we change back into unincorporated Palm Beach County. Now Palm Beach Gardens wants to serpentine between those properties to annex land into the city. So tell me, will each of these dwellings and parcels come with specific instructions as to which emergency service to contact when in need? Speaking of emergencies, the city of Palm Beach Gardens, has anyone paid attention to the fact that Palm Beach Gardens does not have the equipment or the brick and mortar facility for police services or fire and rescue to be able to respond to the residents on the east side of the Intercoastal? Are we just supposed to pay for taxes for these services and pray like hell we never get into cardiac arrest or are held at gunpoint because the city does not have helicopters or boats to help us in the event of an emergency?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Sir.
Good morning. R. Max Lohman. I'm Palm Beach Gardens City Attorney. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. Congratulations, Mayor Sachs and Vice Mayor Marino. your staff, actually, I think their staff report is quite astute in a couple of things here. And as Commissioner Bernard pointed out, yes, there are competing interests here as it relates to these couple of these annexation areas. They have long since been in each municipality's future annexation area. Future annexation areas in your comprehensive plan are not enforceable. They have no legal bearing other than it's in your comp plan and it's aspirational. The City of Palm Beach Gardens has worked with the city of the Village of North Palm Beach as far back as at least 1989, trying to resolve issues and disagreements about their future annexation areas, and it's just been to no avail. They just have agreed to disagree over the years, unfortunately. And we initiated these, started pursuing the idea of annexation several months ago, over 6 months ago. Started investigating it, and then put this forward. Once North Palm Beach found out about it, then they decided to rush to their hearings and do what they've done. Your staff quite astutely pointed out, I believe, that that there is a very high likelihood that what North Palm Beach is trying to do through the Portage Landing to try and hop across the water in 2 different places to get Hidden Key is not contiguous. The other issue there is that if their proposed annexation was successful and they got North and South Portage, they will be taking that section of A1A as well, which will cut off Lost Tree. And so what you have there is you are creating an enclave. The definition of an enclave, one of the definitions, there are 2, is any unincorporated, improved, or developed area that is enclosed within and bounded by a single municipality and a natural man-made obstacle that allows the passage of vehicular traffic to that unincorporated area only through a municipality. If North Palm Beach's proposed Area 1 annexation were to be successful, they would have basically a North Palm Beach blockade across the northern portion of A1A, which is Jack Nicklaus Boulevard, Jack Nicklaus Drive. And then also, if you might be aware that North Palm Beach actually, all of John D. MacArthur Park is in North Palm Beach. So the only way to get there would be to go through North Palm Beach along A1A, either from the north or the south. And so it would make that annexation legally insufficient under Chapter 171. As far as Hidden Key being in part of Gardens Area 1, Hidden Key is currently an enclave in Gardens Area 1. I have a little map and a handout I'd be happy to provide to you that shows this area. That's Hidden Key. The green is Palm Beach Gardens, and there's the water. The only way to get to Hidden Key is through Palm Beach Gardens, and that makes it an enclave, and that's why it was included in our annexation area. And to the point about services, you don't need police substations to do services. We service on the east side of A1A right now anyway. We service east side of A1, or the east side of the Intercoastal rather, through our fire rescue as well. And North Palm Beach's annexations, they don't, even in their service report, don't show that they have the ability to provide the services.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Marino.
Mr. Lowen, before you sit down, is it true that in your frequently asked questions that the city is going to hire additional police officers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Darren, can you please advise about the 1,300-acre considered compact? I know I have some questions about that, and I would just like you to, because it was brought up, and I'd like to hear your comments on it.
Sure.
Thanks, Max.
So compactness isn't necessarily the size of the area. It's the focus. The case law is focusing on the more of the shape, and that it's creating a community as a whole. So the definition means a concentration of a piece of property in a single area and precludes any action which would create enclaves, pockets, or finger areas in serpentine patterns. Any annexation proceeding in any county in this state must be designed in such a manner as to ensure that the area will be reasonably compact. So if we look at the map up there, if the area is annexed, it's not going to create any serpentine fingers areas or anything, because basically the whole western portion of the annexation area is surrounded by Palm Beach Gardens, and so it's almost as if they're squaring off the municipality. So, and there are cases where there have been annexations of over 1,000 acres that I've seen. So.
Mayor, may I can ask?
Go right
Okay.
ahead, Vice Mayor.
So again, we're putting this question to the voters, correct? So at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to decide whether they want to annex.
Well, we're not putting it,
I'm sorry.
the city.
Let me
Yeah,
rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. The city of Palm Beach Gardens is putting this question to the voters.
We didn't start this,
And I do have a question, though. What happens for the homeowners who aren't homesteaded, so that's not their, they don't vote, but their tenants could possibly be voting on that? Is that correct?
if they're registered electors in the area, then they would get
Okay.
the vote.
All right, I think all of my questions have been asked. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Any other comments by any other commissioners at this time? Very good. Thank you. Let's move on to the next item.
I submitted a card for this item.
You submitted a card, sir? Why don't you come up and give us your
Sure
name?
you're on this item?
Yes, I'm the village attorney for North Palm Beach. I had put it in the box. I was here at like 9:15.
I'll tell you what, it's my mayor's privilege to give you the opportunity to speak, but I want you to fill in a card. As soon as you
I'll
finish
fill another one.
speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Give us your name, your occupation, and where you live, sir.
My name is Leonard Rubin. I'm the village attorney for the village of North Palm Beach.
Go right ahead.
And I wasn't sure if the commission was going to get into the specifics of the annexation. Some of the things that Mr. Lohman said, I don't agree with. I don't agree with the analysis about the creation of enclaves. I don't agree that the city cooperated with the village. In fact, the village was in the process of conducting its own annexation study with Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council, reached out to Palm Beach Gardens as part of the stakeholders. Palm Beach Gardens had no interest to meet with us. So I'm really repeating what the commission has said. We want to let the people vote. So our council, these same areas are in the village's future annexation area. We believe those residents should be given a choice. If they want to go into Palm Beach Gardens, great. If they want to come into North Palm Beach, we welcome them. If they want to stay in unincorporated with you all, then that's their prerogative. But the only thing the village is trying to do is give a choice. So that's what I wanted to make clear for the record. And we will respond. The county did give us a technical letter last week. We didn't think there was any urgency in responding. We didn't know this was on the agenda. We will file a very detailed response for the county, and I appreciate you letting me speak. Thank you, Mayor.
Excellent, thank you. And Mr. Rubin, we found your card.
Found your card.
So everything's fine.
Thank you.
See that? Thank you. All right, we're going to move forward to the next item, which is going to be found on,
D2, what you
that would be
page 35, 5D2.
on page 35, 5B2.
D2.
D2.
Mayor, before you move on to that, can I just confirm the board's direction on the previous item and confirming the letter that we would send addressing it with the point of trying to work with the cities on setting forth a framework for where we would maintain the measure of regulatory control on our properties within there should they become part of a municipality. And then, then the direction on the legislative issue as well.
Very good. I
And
think
just
that,
confirming that, and then
I don't think there's any other opposition to that. You stated it perfectly, except Commissioner Woodward would like to say something.
Just to clarify, this will go to both, or all cities that could be annexed? Not just Palm, we have the potential to go into all three of these locations? Or
we typically, we will bring them to you should our properties be sought to be annexed. They all may present a little bit differently, I'll be frank. If they're retention areas and they're small ones in a potential annexation area, that might not precipitate a point where we bring it to you, certainly when they're parks and things of that sort. So we would take this as a template, certainly for this one, and understand that as direction as we move forward with other annexations as well.
Okay, so specifically, the parks and recreation and the environmental
Yes.
areas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Woodward. Thank you, Mr. Rutter. Okay, we're moving on to.
Mayor Sachs,
Yes,
could you repeat the direction one more time?
the direction. Mr. Rutter, you could do it better than anybody else.
Make sure I get it right this time. I'll start with the legislative direction we have on, we work with our Legislative Affairs Office on solely non-residential annexations and working on legislation to address that. And then letter to the cities well, City of Palm Beach Gardens in this case, regarding county-owned properties in there and looking for a formula where we would maintain our regulatory control within them should they be annexed.
Excuse me, Mr. Rutter, and I did say commercial, and I think that was kind of a consequence of the non-registered electors, just to be clear.
Understand.
In that scenario, too.
Did you get that, Madam Clerk? Very good. All right, Vice Mayor Marino.
And also that we do not oppose the annexation.
Did you get that, Madam Clerk? No.
And that
Go ahead,
we
say
do
it
not
again.
oppose the annexation effort of the City of Palm Beach Gardens.
Or Juno Beach.
Or Juno Beach.
Or North Palm Beach.
But that, here, it's just the City of Palm Beach Gardens and Village of North Palm Beach.
So let's specify.
Yeah, so do we
So,
oppose?
Mr. Attorney, go right ahead.
Yeah, do we oppose, we don't oppose the annexation in general. It doesn't matter if it's the Palm Beach Gardens or the North Palm Beach. Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Weiss, just one second. We're still on this, Madam Clerk. No, he's got, okay, I think it's good. All right, let's move on. No, I know. Okay. All right, now we are done with this.
I'm not clear, Mayor.
Oh, you're
Mayor,
not?
I want to make certain that we're doing what this board is telling us. I understand no opposition to the annexation to either city, but I do want to make sure I'm clear on the letter and that we can object to our parcel being annexed in.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to be.
Is that correct?
Okay.
And Mr. Rutter, when you do the letter, I'm sure that the administrator will be able to review it before it goes out.
Yes, ma'am,
Just to
absolutely.
be sure. Okay. All right, everybody's fine. Moving right along to, this is one that was renumbered, 5D2, which is planning, zoning, and building. And that's on the bottom of page 35. What do we, staff?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Mayor, if I could, just a quick second on this one, now that we've worked through that, multiple
First one.
versions of annexation, worked
Right.
through that one, we're gonna give you another version of annexations and talk you through this one. This one has a little twist unto itself as well. So this one relates to an enclave interlocal that's before you for the town of Lake Clark Shores. And as we kick it off, I'm looking for Ed Chase. Ed had the opportunity to send you an email yesterday. Wanted to give
Yes,
you
he's
just a
here.
quick recap of the legislative history, and that's what makes this one a little bit unique. Sent you an email with history, and he's just going to verbally run you through it quickly
Very
so we
good.
can set the table in that regard.
You're recognized, Mr. Chase.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The parcel of land we're talking about in the town of Lake Clark Shores prior to 2022 was not an enclave. It did not qualify as an enclave according to the legislature and the Attorney General. And unable to accomplish annexation at the local level, the town turned to the legislature to try to go through the legislative process for annexation. They tried, best of my count, 4 times to do that. Back in 2018, Representative David Silver sponsored a general bill that would have changed the makeup of enclaves throughout the state. That bill never received a hearing and ultimately died. In the 2020 session and the 2021 session, the town asked Representative Silvers to file local bills that would redefine the town boundaries to include the Edgewater Park areas. In both of those years, neither of those bills had a hearing and they subsequently died. For the 2022 session, town decided to change tactics a little bit and asked Representative Rick Roth to file another local bill. This bill, however, would have the legislature redefine the area in question as an enclave, thus making that enclave eligible for annexation by interlocal agreement with the county. That brings us to this point where we are today.
Commissioner Woodward.
Sorry. Mr. Chase, when you did your research, can you tell us, did this ever go to the voters, like the previous item we were just discussing? Was this ever sent to voters in this area?
The local bills and the one general bill I'm speaking of did not go to the voters. This is the legislative process that does not involve the voters.
I mean, for annexation.
That's correct. The town may have tried previously. I'm speaking to you only on the legislative process.
All right, thank you. Anything else for Sir Ed Chase? Very good. Thank you very much. Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. In order to get in and out of this neighborhood, do they have to use the roads in Lake Clark Shores? So completely separate. And do they have to use any of their amenities? No. Unanimously in the audience.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Mayor, if I could, and to get to Commissioner Baxter's point, we have a short presentation on this, and then it might be relevant to pose some of those questions to the town.
I'll wait.
If that's
Let's have your, let's go for the presentation. Go right ahead.
Good morning again. So in the previous beginning of the last presentation, when I was talking about the different methods of annexation, one of those was talking about annexation of enclaves. So again, Chapter 171 of Florida statute allows for the annexation of enclaves, with the method being used for this neighborhood. It requires an interlocal agreement between the county and, in this case, the town of Lake Clark Shores. Again, this section of Florida statute is limited to areas in 110 acres in size or smaller. In the previous session, the Florida legislature designated a portion of Edgewater Park as an enclave, therefore allowing this area to be annexed by interlocal agreement does not require a referendum. And as mentioned before, the county's comprehensive plan does have policy language with respect to enclaves and service delivery, so was found to be consistent with the intergovernmental coordination element. Specifically to the interlocal agreement, in this case, it would provide for the annexation of the Edgewater Park enclave, approximately 32.76 acres in size. Area is generally located on the east side of South Florida Mango Road and south of Palm Terrace. The town of Lake Clark Shores adopted resolution on October 10th of this year to execute the agreement. And then the planning division processed the proposed annexation through the departmental review process. So again, this map is identifying the area, the map on the right shown in purple. That is the area subject to the annexation by interlocal agreement. So again, the staff assessment is that this annexation is consistent with the requirements of Florida statute and with the county's comprehensive plan. And through the departmental review, we did not receive any negative comments from the county's various departments. So the recommendation by staff would be to approve the interlocal agreement with the town of Lake Clark Shores.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much. Commissioner Woodward, please.
Yes, thank you. Can you tell me, did this ever go to the voters on a ballot?
No, Commissioner, this did not. So there's a referendum method for annexation, but the method that is being used here is because the legislature designated this neighborhood as an enclave, as a legislative finding, that then allows for an annexation through an interlocal agreement as opposed to a referendum. So it has not gone to the voters.
Prior to it becoming an enclave, did it ever go to the voters?
We do have the...
not that I'm aware of, but the town may be better to help
Yeah.
on that point.
Thank you. All right. Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you, Mayor. So the only authority the board has right now, whether this passes or not, is our approval here of the interlocal. Is that correct? That is the authority that we have as a Board of County Commissioners?
That's correct. You will, if you approve the interlocal agreement, then the annexation goes forward. If not, then it stops for now.
And so the process in the city of Palm Beach Gardens where they're giving the voters the opportunity is not here. Is that correct?
No, this is, they have chosen to take advantage of the legislative finding that this area is an enclave and go through this interlocal enclave on annexation process.
I have more questions, but
No,
I
go
know we
ahead.
have cards, so I will keep
You're
them
going to
for
wait
after
until
the
later.
cards. Yes,
Hold
thank
on
you.
to that. Okay, thanks, Vice Mayor and Commissioner Baxter.
Just a quick question before we hear, is within the interlocal, there's no way that we have no authority, to be clear, to ask them to let the voters vote on this?
No, I mean, you can deny the interlocal agreement, and then they could potentially try and do it through a referendum process. But we cannot compel their choice in this matter as to how they choose to go about it.
Thank you.
All right, if no other questions or comments by the board at this time, we're going to hear from the public. When your name is called, please proceed to one of the podiums.
All right, it looks like we're going to start with David Baum, and followed by Mike Bannon, followed by Karen Bendis, followed by Arnold Brayman.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is David Baum. I've been a resident of Edgewater Park for 25 plus years, and no, this has not come before the voters. I do appreciate some of the language I've been hearing from you all as commissioners, and I would appreciate your voting this down and giving us the opportunity to vote as individuals, as property owners, to whether or not to proceed with this. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Excuse me, good morning, Mike Banham. I've lived in Palm Beach County for over 70 years, and I've lived in the, excuse me, Lake Clark Shores area for over 50 years. Without any notification whatsoever, other than a very brief letter that we received from Lake Clark Shores back in September, was that your property meets the qualifications and essentially is going to be annexed. No meetings, no discussions, nothing. They did tell us to go to a meeting that they were having at the town hall, which we did go, and were informed essentially that they are all in agreement they want to annex our property. We were also told that you can go ahead and attend the county meeting if they allow you enough time to even speak, to voice your objections or your opposition. And as you can see, quite a few of us did show up. We also have information that Mr. Brayman's going to provide that almost 100% of the residents in Edgewater Park do not want to be annexed. We have all been very happy with the services provided by Palm Beach County. There's nothing that we agree, excuse me, been sitting too long, drinking too much coffee. We don't agree with the assessment that we are an enclave, and I think, as you can see by other comments here with Palm Beach Gardens and North Palm Beach, there's a lot of disagreement about the state making us an enclave and saying, you're an enclave, you don't have a choice about anything. With the referendums and the votes is all we really wanted to know to be heard. Lake Clark Shores, clearly, I have an email that they submitted last night to most of the residents, which I'll quote from there. The annexation means more dollars for our parks, police, and events. It means more dollars to help reduce your millage rate. It means ensuring residents of Edgewater Park that already use our town amenities pay their fair share, which we don't. The annexation has already been approved unanimously by our town council. The issue was expected to be routinely approved at tomorrow's Palm Beach County Commission meeting. They're essentially telling us that you all have basically already made the decision, that we don't have anything to say about it. So that's all the comments that I have, but I oppose it, and most of the other residents, probably 90% of them, also oppose it. We like the county. We want to stay with the county.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Karen Trebendis. I am also a resident of Edgewater Park. I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to be heard. Ms. Sachs, you noted earlier today how important that voice is. And that is exactly why those of us who were able to be here on this holiday week are present. I'm in complete agreement with the gentleman that is in opposition, as we all are in opposition of the annexation. In my review of Florida statutes under annexation of alleged enclaves, there are portions in the statute that still require a vote, a certain percentage of a vote. I know that Lake Clark Shores is presenting an interlocal agreement with Palm Beach County. If that happens, essentially, it will produce a unilateral annexation of Edgewater Park. We don't use their utilities. We have other avenues to ingress and egress from the neighborhood. We would all like to remain independent. The purpose of my request to you is to afford the residents of Edgewater Park the opportunity to vote and have that voice and to present their opinions on the matter instead of a unilateral annexation, which on its face appears like a unilateral taking of our community. And that is not a friendly approach to trying to unify our community. Mr. Brayman, who will be speaking next, has a lot more detail with regard to that. But I don't believe that the gray areas contained in Statute 171-046 support the unilateral annexation of Edgewater Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
Arnold Brayman, followed by Vernon Lado and Valerie Serralo, followed by Sally Pegasano.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Arnold Brayman, and I live at 2310 Edgewater Terrace in Edgewater Park. About a week or so ago, I reached out to all of you. I sent you an email containing the petition of all 97 residents that live in Edgewater Park. 90 of them voted in opposition, 1 voted in favor. I also included a map in that email, so you'd have a visual of exactly what it is, but you've already seen the maps from earlier presentations. Over the past few weeks, I personally went to each property owner. I was the one that did this petition and spoke with them. My goal was to see how they felt about being annexed involuntarily. Over and over, I heard the same thing. They were angry, and they feel like their voices are being silenced by the town of Lake Clark Shores and the mayor. Just not happy about that. By Florida statutes, there's 2 ways to annex, involuntary or voluntary. Town of Lake Clark Shores has decided to do the involuntary way. So we're here today because the town of Lake Clark Shores, or Lake Clark Shores wants the residents and you, the commissioners, to believe they care about us, but they don't. They just want the tax dollars and control. For years, it's been the town's approach to silence our voices and take control through power of involuntary annexation. In my view, this is a clear path to the erosion of our democracy, when one voice rules over many. Before my allotted time runs out, there are a few things I'd like to point out. The town has made absolutely no attempt for a community outreach to the residents of Edgewater Park. Why not? Number 2, the town has not explained or provided us with any mathematical equation or how to figure out how this will affect our property taxes. But we do know they will go up. I did the math. It's going to be anywhere from $600 to over $2,300 for our newer residents. I've lived there 19 years, so mine's at the lower end. Why haven't they told us that? Because they don't want us to know. The town was also required to hold 2 public hearings. They held 1, October 10th. The outcome of that vote was predetermined. They voted unanimously. I can answer all of those, but running out of time, I'm sorry. I know you, the commissioners, stand on the side of stand on property taxes because you just lowered them for 2024 for the whole county. You recognize what we are going through. Everyone's feeling it. Approving this annexation will do just the opposite. It'll raise ours. So if I can have 30 more seconds?
You know what? You've said everything so perfectly already, so you might as well quit
Well, the
while you're
last
ahead.
thing I would say is I would like to enter into the record that if this comes up again, we hope you deny the town's motion, and if it comes up again, it'll be put to the voters.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name's Valerie Sorello. This is my father, Vernon Lato, and I'm speaking on his behalf of a letter that he wrote to you. And I'm just going to read it for you. My name is Vernon Lato, and I reside at 2347 Palm Road, West Palm Beach, Florida, and have lived there since 1965, when my wife and I built our home to start our family. When I built my home, I never had the intention of becoming a resident of Lake Clark Shores. On November 21st, 23, the annexation of Edgewater Park to Lake Clark Shores is on the agenda. I wish to express my opposition in these proceedings and can't stress enough that I want to happily remain paying my taxes to Palm Beach County with all of the benefits that have been afforded to me from the county since 1965. I am very happy to keep our community as it was intended from the beginning. If this is passed, our taxes will increase, and I am now 93 years old, and with inflation, it will be a hardship, along with all the rules that Lake Clark Shores will impose. In the 60s and 70s, I went door to door for signed petitions from all the residents to fight this takeover, and it has been successful. To this day, there is an overwhelming agreement amongst our residents that our community stays with the county, and I request your help in this matter to stop this annexation in its tracks, where none of the residents even had the right to vote. I have faith that justice will prevail for our community, and respectfully thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It'll be Sally Pasagno, followed by Richard Welch, followed by Greg Freebold.
Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Sally Pasagno. I live at 2275 Edgewater Drive in West Palm Beach. In their town council meeting of October 10, the Mayor Freebold said that the town has spent approximately $150,000 a year on services for us. And, quote, "That is what started to generate this 5 or 6 years ago," unquote. He said it was about their fiduciary responsibility, which I believe is the responsibility to act in the best interest of the town's taxpayers. Well, how can you reconcile that with the fact that the town has been squandering their taxpayers' money on providing services outside of their jurisdiction that we didn't even need or want? And if they were so worried about it 5 years ago, why didn't they stop? What are these alleged services? It's not law enforcement, because the police admitted they've never responded anywhere in our neighborhood. It can't be anything to do with our roads or facilities. Well, the only thing it could be is safety. In their 2021-22 budget, expenditure for protective inspections was $232,000. So they spent $150,000 on our 98 properties and only $82,000 on 1,500 properties in their town? I don't believe it. I'd like to see some proof that they've done anything for us. And we didn't need them to do anything anyway. These people have shown they are not to be trusted, that they'll say or do anything they want to get, regardless of what anyone else wants. And they've been doing it with sly intent. Now they want our tax money, and because they saw to it that we were falsely declared an enclave and can't vote, they're like schoolyard bullies trying to steal lunch money just because they can. We shouldn't be made to pay because of their gross mismanagement and chicanery. I hope you won't condone this behavior. Please vote no to annexation. Our two communities have lived peaceably side by side for more than 60 years. Now, because they took away our freedom to choose where we live, they have destroyed that peace. Madam Mayor and Commissioners, I thank you for listening and for taking the time to read all our emails.
Thank you very much.
Richard Welch, followed by Greg Freebold, followed by Joseph Labello.
Yes, hello, I'm Richard Welch. I want to thank all you commissioners for all your work you do. It doesn't go unnoticed, okay, I've been a resident in Edgewater Park for 42 years, Mr. Leto's neighbor, lovely neighbor. And we've gone across this bridge before, you know, and to no avail. It just seems like, I don't know if it's from the state Florida legislature that's passed legislation to allow them to forcibly gather this annexation without being the voice of the public and of the residents, which is the whole basis of our democracy, I thought. And so it's just, there's no other benefit other than to build their tax revenue base for whatever needs, you know. You know, I've been there, and I know it's from when the meeting I went to that it was going to create approximately a 50% increase in my taxes myself, which I'm on retired disability. We have a lot of seniors in the neighborhood that cannot afford, as you all are aware of, the inflations we're dealing with here, I think, on a daily basis, groceries, gas, you know, I don't think I need to reiterate that. But this is just another, you know, pain in the sword aside, sword in the side that we really cannot absorb anymore. And we just try to maintain what we have and the facilities we have. We have city water and sewer. Maybe they're gonna put a sewer system in there. That's what they're generating revenue for, to build the sewer system for Lake Clark Shores. I understand almost all the properties there do not have a sewer system. They're on well and septic tank. Being in a water side community, I'm sure there's some environmental impact with that. So maybe they're gonna change that over, but I don't think that we should have to help pay for it. All right? Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Congratulations, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here. Greg Freebold, Mayor of Lake Clark Shores. I'd like to set the record straight. We cannot, by law, use their tax dollars for a septic to sewer conversion, period. That is a false statement. Secondly, we're not scoundrels looking to steal their land. Thirdly, they are not required to use our roads to get in and out of their community, but they do. They do use our amenities. They were at our meeting telling us how nice the parks were and things of that nature. One of the residents in that enclave actually did damage to the boat ramp and the dock at Lake Clark Shores boat ramp. So that's not what this is about. We have exhausted our legal remedies. We went to the state legislature. This is one of the remedies that we are afforded in our community to annex involuntarily this community. It's not a secret that governments are looking to increase their tax base. We're a small community doing a lot with a little. We've managed very well. We are not mismanaged. We have been very well managed. Our numbers are good. I understand their position. I truly do. However, the $150,000 is typically in police patrolling. The manager will speak next, and he'll have more to that. We are not, by law, allowed to not help or respond. It's through the interlocal agreement that we do. There are services that we do provide. $150,000 was a rough estimate. I'm not sure that anyone has the numbers to what that will be. We believe that yes, some of their taxes will go up. The ones who have been there longer, it will be less affected too. However, we believe by joining the town of Lake Clark Shores, their property values will go up, they will have and enjoy better amenities, and it's, you know, we just heard from the annexation regarding North Palm Beach and Palm Beach Gardens. We have not done anything illegal. The reason the email was generated also was because this was on consent. And we were under the impression that staff recommended that this was approved. After we found out it was taken off consent, that's when we started to get into action. And that's what government officials do. We take action, and we are trying to better our complete surrounding area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and hello, Mayor. My name is Joseph Lobello. I'm the town manager for the town of Lake Clark Shores. Congratulations to the Marias. And first, I would like to thank the county staff for their assistance in creating and helping us with this interlocal agreement. It's a seamless transition from moving the infrastructure to the town and also moving these services to the town. And that's basically what we're here for. That's the task we're here. It's an administrative task, and that's why this was on consent agenda. Even the county has said this is a recommendation by them. This parcel has been declared a legislative declared enclave. What does that mean? By state law, as you can see, this parcel that we have is on 3 sides adjacent to the town. 1 side is on a county road. So it is a little confusing. Is it an enclave? Because it's not surrounded totally by the town. So when there is a confusion, you go to the state attorney's office, which this is their opinion back in 2006. It says they have the power, the legislative power, to decide what an enclave is. The county does not, nor does the city. So we petitioned them. They said that their state staff and the state legislature has declared this parcel as a legislative enclave. There's no debate of that. So let me give you some history. When you basically, so when this parcel was legally declared a legislative enclave, you should actually annex this. That's why it's on the consent agenda. It's actually in the comp plan that was presented, and it's also a recommendation from the county. If you guys want to ask some questions about the merits, which we think we do have, about the process, about the enclave, we're here to answer them. I'll be glad to answer all those questions, because if you've been there and living there for a while, we have some offsets. We pay for municipal garbage, and we also pay, we don't have utility service tax on your electric bill. So if your taxable value, which is, there's a lot of taxable values around 100,000, you're actually saving money coming into the town. I did do a survey of all the 98 parcels. The average taxable value is $200,000. So the average person will pay $500 more in taxes, the average. And that's because our millage rate is 6.1, ours went down as the county, good job. And also, so if you have a $200,000 taxable value, that's $101,200 more on your tax bill, but we have about $700 of offsets because of the garbage and the utility tax. So the average person will be going up about $500, just want to put that on the record. But a lot of, I ran all of the 98 parcels, a lot of them will actually be going down, sorry.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we have a number of non-speaking cards. Stephen Snyder, I oppose the annexation of Edgewater Park into Lake Clark Shores. The town has failed to provide evidence that the annexation would benefit the residents of Edgewater beyond their current municipal services. Joe Noel, I do not want to annex. Thomas Noel, do not wish to annex. Kim Kendot, please do not annex our property into Lake Clark Shores. I do not see any value or benefit. Property taxes will increase. I do not use the minimum amenities of the boat ramp or the tiny park on Forest Hill Boulevard. LCS only wants more money for no benefit. Thanks, but no thanks. Lizette Jorge Hernandez, I oppose the annexation of my area to Lake Clark Shores. They have been in this neighborhood for over 30 years and have been happy as part of West Palm Beach. I have always opposed this, continue to do so. I do not see the need to be annexed. I am comfortable living in my restricted area. I cannot afford their taxes. Juan Gonzalez, my husband is 82 years old, retired, and I am turning 67 on Friday. Happy birthday. And texting and retiring soon. We'll be on a fixed income. So more taxes as a result of the annexation to Lake Clark Shores will be a big burden on us. There is no benefit to us. And Ysidro Arrows Arena, if this motion is approved, it would not improve the quality of services of Edgewater Park, not to mention the increase in taxes. Thanks for your time and consideration on this matter. That's all the cards.
Okay, so there are no other cards. Let's move towards some of our comments, and I'd like to recognize Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. If you would it be possible for you to pull up the satellite view of the neighborhood? If you could zoom in just a little and a little more, I guess it'd be north on the map. What I'm getting at is when I pulled this up, there are roads going through this neighborhood to Forest Hill. I am always for letting voters vote, but as we know, roads have been a huge issue we've been having in Palm Beach County, and I wish, you know, this went to the voters first. I really do. But I'm also, my only hesitation to saying, just, no, sending this back to the city and saying, you know, send it to the voters, is that they are seemingly, I think there's a much easier way to get to 95 than going to Florida Mango. They're using the roads through Lake Clark Shores. Should they have to help pay for them? That's my only hesitation. Is there any way, I mean, traffic study counts, any way to determine which residents, how many residents are going down those roads?
I'm not aware of any traffic studies or that kind of performance analysis that's been done.
I mean, other than that, I absolutely think this should go, I don't know, I like when voters get to decide, but at the same time, we're putting a burden on a city who has to maintain and take care of those roads if the residents are using them. So any more information really would be helpful on this.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. I think we had Commissioner Bernard next. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yesterday, I had the chance to speak to the town manager, Mr. Lobello, and I'm sure the Mayor Freebold, Vice Mayor Shalhoub, and the Pro Temp Rodriguez, and the Council Member Gonzalez and Maples, they worked really hard to try to, address some of the needs of the residents. By they're saying that the residents are using the roads and the amenities, the values would go up, and then they said that they would get better amenities. However, I just believe that we should not enter into this interlocal agreement, and they should let the voters decide.
Mm-hmm.
And if the voters want to be part of Lake Clark Shores, they've worked really hard to change the language to make it an enclave, but we as a commission would have to make that decision. But I don't believe that we should enter into this interlocal agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Let the voters decide.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor, did you have your... Yeah, very good. I didn't know if you had your light on, but let's hear from Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Commissioner Bernard. I would like to see the voters have been asked to participate in this. I think that's what democracy is about. I understand the position of the town of Lake Clark Shores as well, but I also, I think it's incumbent upon the town to go out and do the work. I know when we're, if there's a land use or a zoning issue that comes in front of us, we're always asking the developer, have you worked with the community? Have you gone out, and talked to them and understand what their issues are? And from what I'm hearing, that didn't happen and hasn't happened. And so my recommendation to the town is that you go out and you do the work of working and meeting with them, meeting with the people where they're at. That's the other thing I think we've all learned. To expect them to come to the town of Lake Clark Shores, that's not fair. You need to, I don't tell you, you guys have your own government, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think it would mean a lot if you met them where they were at. But I can't in good consciousness allow this to move forward, at least with my vote. So I will not be supporting this interlocal agreement today.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to step out. There's not a motion on the floor, is there?
No, we're just discussion.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say I echo what I did get to hear. I had a conversation earlier that I didn't like the idea of going around the voter. I mean, we all got here because of voters, and giving the people the ability to choose is important. And it's also important, like you said, when there's a project on the table, you have to work to sell it to the people who are going to be affected. And I think that, I don't know whether or not that was done, but I think that's how it should be done in the future, is if you want them to come into your city, this seems like a contentious way for it to happen. It doesn't seem like a happy marriage at this point. I wouldn't be supporting it. Not that this can't happen in the future, but it seems like there's some work to be done to bring the communities together. And if it's a good idea, you should be able to sell it to them.
Thank
So
you,
that's my
Commissioner.
support.
Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I agree. I don't believe that it is right to impose a tax burden upon a group of residents that may end up benefiting another group, but is that absolutely certain? I know the mayor came and spoke and said that, or excuse me, the city manager came and spoke and mentioned that there will be a tax increase, an average increase of $500 per homeowner, I believe. But who's that going to benefit? Is that going to benefit the residents of Edgewater Park if this annexation is approved? Will it benefit the residents of Lake Clark Shores? But my question is, without regard to what the definition of an enclave is, I think that's pretty much settled, right? The legislature's decided that this is an enclave. We had some of the residents of Edgewater Park come and disagree with that assessment. But regardless of what anybody believes, it's what the legislature has decided is an enclave. If, and it looks like this annexation will not be authorized, or the interlocal agreement will not be approved, is putting this to the voters still an option? And if so, what voters?
Sure, they could, the town could try to do a referendum in the area. They could designate it an annexation area and have a referendum of the voters within that area. Pardon me?
Those who live in the city of Lake Clark Shores?
They could do both. They could do those that live just in the annexation area, or they could do those that live in the annexation area and then those that live in the town proper. Yeah, you can do both. But if you did both, you'd have to have both approve it to be able to get it through. So that's why, for instance, Palm Beach Gardens is likely just doing the one in the annexation areas.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you. Echoing the sentiments of the board here, and I'd like to thank all of you that came today. I actually kept track of everybody who sent us emails also, and it is an overwhelming group of folks that don't want this, and I always say that, it has to better the community, and I would not approve the interlocal. Sorry, guys. I would approve, I would suggest going to the voters. However, I would suggest going to the voters if you do that in November 2024, because I don't think you have time, or the supervisor of elections will be able to put it on the March, because I think that might be a special election. So if you in fact decide to go the voter route and have the voice of the Edgewater folks heard by vote, I would suggest you do it for November 2024. But with that, I will make a motion to deny the interlocal agreement.
Very good. And I have a second from Commissioner Weiss. If I could just make a statement, it's just refreshing to see democracy alive and well in Palm Beach County. You all sat here for some very fascinating issues. It's 9:30, but you sat here, you stayed, and because you wanted to assert your right to vote, your right to protect your personal property, your real property, your right to live peacefully in your area. And I want to thank the government officials from Lake Clark Shores. You've got an opportunity to win an election, and that's the way most issues should be decided in this country. But it is refreshing your county residents, and it's just very refreshing to see democracy in force today. Thank you. With that, we have a motion, we have a second. Everybody approve? Does anybody disapprove? Very good. Find it that it passes 7-0. Okay, moving on, we are going to the final one, and that is found on back of page 60. If somebody finds the page
62?
before me.
5E1, 62.
62, found on 62. Okay, and it is wait a minute. I believe it's 5E1. 5E1, thank you. Very good. 5E1 on the page 61. Okay. Does anybody, excuse me, we are still doing business here, so we're going to proceed. Let's have it quiet. All right.
I'd like to go ahead and move item 5E1.
All right, do I have a second by Commissioner Woodward? All those approved, anybody disapprove at this time? Find that it passes. Oh, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you. Just one question on the changes to the local amendment. Fire hydrant water supplies. Can you just, what does that mean? I have it highlighted in here, so can I just have a little?
Is that in regards to new construction, Commissioner, or Vice
Community
Mayor?
risk reduction, I'm looking at this page.
Okay.
Page
Is that
2?
the dead-end fire hydrants, or the ones on the new
The
construction?
one about fire, page 52 of the agreement. This change seeks to eliminate the section called water supply in agricultural areas and replace it with complete new section concerning hydrant water supplies.
Yeah, 1832.
Can you just elaborate on that? I mean, I'm not in favor, I'm not opposed to this, I just want to.
I think we're describing having, so we're going to have a dead end with fire hydrants, and Chief DeRita can elaborate.
Yes, Commissioner, 1832 fire hydrant water supply. When you're dealing with a dead end water main, there's contamination issues, so we want to work with the WUD, the Water Utility Department. We don't want to put too many fire hydrants onto a dead end main. You'll end up, in the event of a fire, every hydrant we connect to, we could in theory draw too much water from that main and cause a lack of water pressure, and you'll also have a contamination issue with the water that stays stagnant in that line unless used. So that's what that's in reference to.
Very good. Does that take care of that,
Yeah,
Vice
that was
Mayor?
it.
All right, let's go back to the vote. All those in favor, anybody opposed? See that it passes 7-0 unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Good to see you. All right. Moving on to,
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 5F1, A and B.
I'll second.
okay, thank you. And we have a second by Vice Mayor Marino. Everybody approve, anybody oppose? Very good. See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Thank you, folks. Good luck. Okay, very good. All right, now, we have some commission district appointments. So I'm going to start with you, Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. No appointments. Thank you.
All right, and Commissioner Woodward,
None at this time?
Commissioner Weiss.
None at this time.
All right, Vice Mayor Marino,
None at this time.
Commissioner Bernard,
None, Madam Mayor.
and Commissioner Baxter.
Since the application was not complete the last time I appointed him, we're going to try again, and I'm going to appoint Bobby Smith, again, reappoint to the Housing Finance Authority.
Very good. I think we're going to need a motion in a second for that.
Second.
Okay,
No,
No, not,
we don't,
not for an appointment.
not for an appointment. Okay, that's fine. And Mayor Sachs has none at this time. So, see that recorded. Now, we're going to go into staff comments, and Ms. Baker.
Just want to congratulate you, Mayor, on being our new mayor, and Commissioner Marino for being serving as our vice mayor, and to wish all of you and your family a safe and happy Thanksgiving,
Thank you so much.
as well as my staff.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Ms. Kaufman.
Just to say happy holidays and congratulations to everybody. And it's great to see a first great meeting, and everybody have a nice vacation.
Super. Thank you so much. Again, we're going to start with you, Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I would like to request approval for a previous off-site proclamation declaring November 17th, 2023 as World Prematurity Day, March of Dimes.
Second.
Very good. Oh, this is when we need the second. Aha. All those approve, nobody disapproves. Fine, then it passes 7-0.
Mayor, I'm sorry, who was the seconder on that? Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Yeah, just a few things.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. And congratulations on your appointment or election as mayor of Palm Beach County. And to you, Vice Mayor Marino. Very honored to work with both of you over this past year and look forward to doing great things together with your leadership throughout the next year, the coming year. Our office and our staff, I know the commissioners and your staff have also been very busy around the county distributing turkeys. A lot of turkey drives across District 3. I want to thank those agencies and organizations that helped to make sure some of our more disadvantaged and underserved residents have a happy Thanksgiving, including Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, Restoration Bridge International, Jason Mandel, Pastor Dan West, Boca Helping Hands. I think I saw you with Boca Helping Hands as well in the south of the county. We have Boca Helping Hands actually in Lantana at Proclaim Church. They were very busy. 500 cars came through a few days ago, and a lot of turkeys distributed. Christ the Redeemer is actually having a food drive. At 2 o'clock today, I'm going to stop by and see if they need any help passing out turkeys. It's a wonderful thing to see people coming together from different agencies to make sure that everybody gets to eat on Thanksgiving. The Hispanic Cultural Resource Community Center is, like I said, and as Mr. Ed Chase once said at our panel discussion, Commissioner Barnett does not take no for an answer. We're pushing this very hard. I want to thank members of our legislature who have agreed to sponsor an appropriation request for initial programming I mentioned at our last meeting for an amount of $500,000. So we're very grateful to Senator Powell, Senator Harrell, as well as Representatives Catherine Waldron and Mike Caruso for working so hard and showing amazing support for this important project, the Hispanic Cultural Resource Community Center. And that's all I have to say. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Wherever you're going, travel safe and see you next week, I think. Next week?
That's right. You'll be here next week. Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnett. Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank you, former Mayor Weiss, for your first year, my first year, your first mayorship here, and congratulations to both Marias for your time here. I'm thankful that tomorrow actually marks 1 year since we were sworn in. It's been a very interesting year. I'd like to thank staff. I'd like to thank everyone that's helped me along the way. I thought I had a pretty good understanding of what this job entailed, and it's been baptism by fire. So I appreciate that. I do believe it's Commissioner Marino's birthday tomorrow. Yes, because I was believing that was when we got sworn in. And my husband's birthday is Thanksgiving. He's a turkey baby this year. So happy birthday to him. And just everyone, if you're traveling, please be careful. I heard on the radio they're expecting 750,000 cars on Florida roads tomorrow, and I'll be one of them. So if you're driving or if you're flying, safe travels to you. If you're staying here, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving right here in Palm Beach County. So.
Okay. Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you very much. First, congratulations to you, Mayor Sachs, and to Vice Mayor Marino. Congratulations. I'd like to, asking the county attorney, and I know you're working on interim, trying to put together an interim solution for some of these folks that are in process with the PACE loans. If there's anything that we can do, or if you need us to take any action, I would appreciate you sharing that with us, or, because I know that there are people that they're finished and there's no way for them to pay back that loan, and it's gonna create havoc for them. And we know, obviously I understand what the issues are with FPFA and all of that, but you've got people that are already completed. And
I actually did talk to our litigation team yesterday. This is something that we're very concerned about, and there is a potential solution that I'm not really free to discuss at this time, but we are looking for a solution. And we believe at least some of the people at Issue Fortify, or I think it's Fortify, has been working with us, and that will make a significant difference in our ability to address those homeowners. So we are working on it. We do realize it's an issue. We did require Fortify to take some actions. They are taking those actions. And as long as they continue to work with us, we should be able to reach a solution, with the understanding, of course, that the tax collector ultimately determines what's going to go on the tax bill. So she's going to be, hopefully will be working with us to try to resolve this.
Okay, if there's anything, I mean, because right now it's, people are in limbo and how this is all gonna get resolved. And my understanding today is that FPFA is having a board meeting today, so hopefully their board is gonna take some action with the way they've been managing themselves, because it's creating havoc not only here in Palm Beach County, but across the state of Florida.
Yeah, there is a potential solution that's out there that we hope they are going to be addressing today.
Okay, thank you. And then the second thing, I want to thank Todd and our ledge team. I want to thank Virginia. We had a late request come in regarding an Okeechobee corridor signalization pilot program funding request come through, and really appreciate, and I want to share that with the board, that a request went into the legislature for a pilot program on Okeechobee. One of my favorite topics, adaptive signal technology, to help manage the flow of traffic as a pilot on Okeechobee, and hopefully prove successful, and we can put it in many other places of the county and improve how people transit Palm Beach County. So with that, and then I also on Saturday I was able to give out 500 turkeys, or be a part of a group that gave out 500 turkeys, and that was put on by some generous benefactors in our community who funded that, as well as working with Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church and Payne Chapel Church were also involved, and it was wonderful. The people were very thankful about having not only receive a turkey, but all the other sides that go along with it, to make sure that everybody, or at least many people in our community, are going to have an opportunity to have a Thanksgiving. So I want to thank the folks that put that on. So, and I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Enjoy your
Commissioner
kittens, too.
Bernard. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to request
Mine, I think.
to ratify the off-site proclamation that was given at the Clinton Forbes Celebration of Life.
Those are yours. Those are mine. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. We were fussing with the kittens now that we know whose kittens belong to who. We have a second by Commissioner Woodward. And everybody approve, anybody disapprove? See that it passes 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And lastly, just want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of our residents and especially to all of the Palm Tran residents, families, and workers who works for Palm Tran. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to say congratulations to Mayor, I won't call you the Marias, Mayor Sachs and Vice Mayor Marino. Just again, congratulations. I would like to wish everyone, staff, commission, everyone just happy Thanksgiving. It should be exciting. I would like to wish my soon-to-be 8-year-old Logan a happy birthday. He is the day after Thanksgiving this year. And I would like to wish my soon-to-be 5-year-old, who's November 27th, a happy birthday as well. We happen to be a November family.
Scorpios.
And happy birthday to newly Vice Mayor Marino. So thank you for everything you guys have been doing. I would like to also, I forgot an appointment. I would like to appoint Krista Basor to the Advisory Commission on Women. So forgive me, but that would be added. And I would also, I had printed out some things and wanted to, with the mayor's permission, add
Sure.
to the record just some information I have put together
Absolutely.
and come across regarding the program we'll be workshopping. I figure the sooner we get information, the better. We have time to look it over, review it. And I would like to just say it has been a year. It has been a first year of learning. Tomorrow marking the anniversary of us getting elected, Commissioner Woodward and I. The experience of a lifetime and an honor to be able to represent residents and to what Commissioner Weiss, that's going to take a minute, said earlier, you know, we're here to do what's best for the residents of Palm Beach County now and in most of the decisions we make. And one of the things I ran on was having different opinions on different topics and allowing for those differences. It makes a huge difference. It invokes conversation that we put out there. And it, you know, it gives us that, it makes us better in the end. That's why we don't just have one person who does everything. We have an entire board that works together. I have, in the past year, and I never do this, guys, but I am just taking a minute.
Go ahead.
Come across some things that I would like to say I would like to work on and get better at. You know, one of them just we had touched on a little bit earlier, being transparency. You know, we have huge problems in transparency. We have coming back to us airports. We have a workshop at the end of this month. At that same workshop where we gave direction to bring it back, I had also given direction for budgeting software to come back to us. So I don't know, do we have to give dates when we make direction? And do we have to clarify?
Ms. Baker?
Administrator?
No, ma'am, you do not. We put it on our directive if it's given from the board, and we're in the process of working on it. What I will do is start working on giving you a target date so that if we can do the proper research and bring it back to you, so I don't bring you back half-baked bread, which you don't like, then we'll do that. But we can definitely put a target date on it.
Well, I have several directives I've been keeping track of, and if we could just get updated, like within, I mean, what's a reasonable time frame? I'd like to ask you, 2
Well,
weeks,
it depends
30
on what
days?
it depends on what you're asking for, Commissioner, because.
Hold on, let me clarify. Not
Okay.
on the getting back to us,
Okay.
but it being updated on the directives
Directive.
list.
Yes. We will put more language in where it currently says in process. I will make sure that we're putting in what we're doing in the process. So we can definitely do that.
So if we were to give direction today, what's a reasonable time frame that it would pop up on the list of directives?
A couple of days, a week, to give staff opportunity to, again, I can put it on the next day, but I don't think that's what you're looking
It just kind of lets us know
for.
that staff understood and we know it's being worked on.
Well, it's, when it goes on that directive, we got it. That tells you we understand it and we're in the process of working on it. So a lot of times we've got to work with a number of departments across the board. We've got to get back with the commissioner that's asking for the directive to make sure, or it could be somebody outside of the county. Or it could be something very simple, such as a letter. We can do it the next day or so. And so that's in there. But a lot of the things, the roadways, all of that, that's a process that it takes. And I know that roads are a major issue, and so we're going to be talking about that next week.
Yes, we do have that workshop. It was a concern of mine that my very first meeting with roads was at the beginning of my term. And that same road that I said was my #1 priority. It
I'm
just seemed
hoping the
not.
workshop helps us all better understand, because it takes time unless we're going to move some projects out. And so we'll go through that on next Tuesday. And that way the board can give me further direction on what to move around in order to add a new road on.
Timing, it's always takes time. I would say process takes time. I have learned over the past year to be patient. I've learned timing, but I would say there's time and then there's just pushing things off. So that's why I would like to just maybe set out some better timelines so we know when to expect things, instead of just it takes a long time. That's the way it is. There's a couple other things that I think can wait. I wondered why we don't ever have conversations regarding anyone else's experiences, what they would like to see improved, what they would like to see done really on a regular basis. It's always in private. I can't be the only person frustrated with certain things. And it is brought to my attention when staff or Administrator Baker, you don't like something, it is always said, or give me direction, bring it to the board, so on and so forth. And we are always put in that position. I would like to see us work better together. I would like us to see us do things better without trying to tell us to bring it to the board of things that you know could, that might not be something we'd want to, I don't know, address in a certain way, because it's, I don't like, a lot of people will say that I have a strong person with strong opinions, but at the end of the day, I never think it's good to speak bad or ill of anyone or anything, so I hate saying those things publicly. It's never my intention, but when I am constantly feeling unheard, or that I have to clarify direction, or give dates, or constantly fight for my residents, it should be easier, is all I'm saying. It shouldn't be this hard to help my residents. So just putting that out there, that I would like to come to like some understanding of how this can better work so everyone is more happy. And thank you, everyone.
It's okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you. And following up with Commissioner Baxter, speaking of staff direction, I would like to direct staff, and this is very important, I would like an accounting of all ordinances that are supposed to sunset and when they sunset. I do not want a surprise like this ever again. And I would also like to know what ordinances require regular reporting, to know if we are getting the reports we're supposed to have. This is a failure. I do not want to see this going forward in the future. And if I sound stern, I am. I'll change hats now. I would like to request an approval for a previous off-site proclamation commemorating the 121st anniversary of the Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist Church.
Very good. We have
I got a second from Mac.
We have a second by Commissioner Bernard. Everybody approved? Anybody disapproved? See that it passes 7-0.
Thank you. I'm going to put on my sad hat for a moment. I had to go to the remembrance ceremony last night for Mary and Jim Hinton, two stalwarts in the Jupiter community. And for those of you that have heard me say this over and over again, Edna Runner passed away on Friday. It is a very hard thing for me to say in public and out loud that this giant of a woman who led so many people in the Jupiter area has passed away. The one shining thing about that is Thursday night was her retirement party.
No.
So a huge turnout was there. They lauded her. She was surrounded by family, friends, new friends, old friends. And so when she did pass away on Friday, it was with the knowledge that she was so loved and appreciated. And when you, I like to say, leave the world a better place than you found it. My mother always taught me that. And Edna did that on a very, very daily basis. So please hold her family in your thoughts. I will let you know when her service is, probably be sometime in December. But the community has lost a wonderful, wonderful lady, but heaven has gained an angel. So with that, I say thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baxter, did you have something to say? Go right ahead.
Yeah, I guess it needed a motion for the receive and file for the information. So regarding the program we're going to do the workshop on that I asked your permission to submit, they told me I needed a motion.
Is that what the attorney next to you said? Whenever, when the clerk says it. When the clerk says it, it's important. Okay. So do we have that?
Mayor,
Madam
can you
Clerk?
repeat can you repeat what
It's
to be
just
received
this-
and filed?
I can show it to you, but it was just the information.
Oh, I see
the
your
receive-
document that you wanted to submit.
wanted to submit.
And I would just ask that we all get a copy of it.
Yes, I already have them.
I know you do, but we don't.
No, what I'm
Okay.
saying is I have a copy for everyone.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now it's up to me. We have to take a motion. We take a motion, and I have a second. Well, the first is by Commissioner Baxter. The second is by Vice Mayor Marino. All those for it? Anybody opposed? See, it passes 7-0. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your trust in me to be your mayor. And let me just tell you that some of the things I'm going to do is first I'll meet with each of you individually, and we can discuss your agenda. And we have, yes, we are. We're going to each of you personally. It's okay, Ms. Kaufman. It's all right. It's all right. I can meet with each commissioner and to discuss your commissions that you would like to be on. And I know I'm looking at the lawyer, and which committees you want to stay on, which committees you don't want to stay on, and if there's any change in anything that I have authority to do. Important things like food. If we want to change any of the food outside, I'm being very good, aren't I? Be very careful. But also, I would like to see, after I discuss it with Ms. Baker and Ms. Kaufman, possibility of doing something social together. We used to have a great softball game in the Senate where I won't tell you who usually won between the D's and the R's, but it's something that gets everybody together in a fun way without discussing business or having anything to do with the agenda of the county commission. Ms. Baker, you can interrupt. Go right ahead.
We'll work with you on.
Oh, absolutely. That's
on
why I said
the
after, right.
assignments.
After,
and
yes.
that way we can handle it in a written format.
That would be fine. That would be fine. But I do know which committees you're already on. I want to know which committees you want to be on and those you want to be off so that we have a very successful year. And I know that we can do something social and still keep it within the rules of Sunshine. And I think it's about time. We've got a great group. In this last year that we have 3 new additions, wow, it's like, somebody opened the window and let fresh air in. And I appreciate it very, very much. I do want to say that with former Mayor Greg Weiss, I've had a great mentor in how to run things. I hope I'm as calm as he is. And I look forward to working with Vice Mayor Marino. You have no idea what it's going to be like with 2 Marias running this county. I tell you, just see how we roll, right, Vice Mayor? So we're going to have the bottom line is we're going to run it right. We're going to have a good time. And we're going to, each of us, have an opportunity to speak. But at the bottom is a line for everything is that we're all here for the benefit of all the people of Palm Beach County. North, south, east, or west, everybody has an opportunity to speak. I love transparency. But I know that we're all here together with one voice for the people of Palm Beach County. And I look forward to serving you. And I may even get a barn cat if I can find one over there. And I want to wish Leonardo a very happy 4th birthday. He's turning 4 tomorrow. It's a big birthday being 4. We have a lot of November people here. So happy birthday. Maybe we should sing happy birthday. God, no. Maybe not. Everybody have a wonderful, safe, and beautiful Thanksgiving Day. Thank you. Thank you.
Your life and your journey that started with your first few years in Queens, New York. Eventually you moved here to Palm Beach County and you spent an overwhelming part of your life here. What are some of your first memories that you remember about Palm Beach County when you came here?
Well, I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time at Boca Raton Elementary. I grew up in Boca Raton. The friends I made walking to school, our after-school teachers, including Miss Jackson, who I got a chance to reconnect with recently. Going to the Deerfield Beach Pier on my bike with my brother Robert, and fishing from the pier every now and then.
Yeah.
Spending time walking to and from the Boca Raton Community Church, where we were placed into Vacation Bible School and the after-school youth program there. But also going to the library, going to the beach, and doing all the normal things that 10 and 11-year-old kids do.
Yeah, and so you graduated from Boca Raton High School. You spent time at Palm Beach State College, at Florida Atlantic University, went to law school in South Florida as well. What is it about Palm Beach County? You've been here almost 35 years now. What is it that you think keeps you here, and what are the things about this county that, you know, put that smile on your face every day?
Well, I'll tell you, when we first moved here in 1987, the plan was only to stay temporarily for a few weeks. My mother moved me and my brother and my sister into my grandparents' home in Boca. The plan was to move to Michigan after a few weeks' stay, but we loved it here so much we decided to stay. It was closer to family. 35 years later, it's the home I've grown accustomed to. It's all I know, and I don't think I could ever leave Palm Beach County.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you've really kind of set your roots in Palm Beach County, and in your career, the leadership roles that you've taken on, I think, are ones that continue to draw you back here. I mean, some of your earliest experiences with government, particularly in student government, that you experienced at Florida Atlantic University. Your tenure as chair of the Republican Party of Palm Beach County and exerting a lot of influence over politics and policy throughout our community, and now on the Board of County Commissioners. Where does that drive and motivation, you think, come, and where did it originate from you that motivates you every day?
Well, it started when I was a kid. I grew up as a very patriotic young kid. I loved our country. I still do very much. My love for America